Hello everybody and welcome into some fantastic racing here this evening. It's been a long time coming and we get the VRL Racing League here tonight at Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, the almighty Turn 2 that we have spoken so much about. Will fist fly here tonight as memories are brought back? Or are we going to see another new champion here tonight in the Vigilante Racing League, as we have already had 5 races with 5 different winners, trying to make it 6 here tonight. So without further ado, let's get things kicked off with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back. As always, these great races are only being able to be brought to you because of some fantastic sponsors, such as DND Race Grafix, spelled Grafix. Go ahead and contact Ricky Wittenberg here now that he's back from vacation and get yourself a fancy truck paint or cup paint or Xfinity paint or anything with flat sides paints. He does a fantastic job over there. They're definitely eye-catching, eye-popping, jaw-dropping, and he'll get you all set up nice and good. So go ahead, contact him over there on Trading Paints or on Facebook at that DND Race Graphics. But not to mention, he's got a real-life business of Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Give Ricky a call at 423-444-0454. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your house in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or anywhere across the country, Ricky Wittenberg there, he can definitely help you. And whether that's personally in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country where he's got that big old Rolodex of his of contacts, where you know you will be able to get in contact with a realtor you can trust and get along with. And this is something you do not want to do alone, as this housing market is absolutely insane. Call Ricky and get yourself a good realtor here today. As always, I am Alan Brown, and I am joined by one of my best friends, and that's Mr. Alan English here in the booth, shooting them finger guns. Alan, I know we've been waiting a long time for this one because we really enjoy the racing at Pocono. It is a very tricky track, a very long track, and just about anything can happen here tonight.
That's right. You know, there's no other track like this. I mean, every turn's completely different, different banking in every turn, different radius in every turn. You know, don't get lost on this track because you'll pay the price for sure. It's real tricky and tricky triangle for crying out loud. But you know, this is one of the only tracks where you can make a pit stop and not lose a lap, not a whole lap. You know, so we may see a little bit different pit strategies here when it comes down to it. So I don't know what to expect. I haven't seen these guys race this track. Has VRL ever been here? I'm not even sure.
Oh, they have. They definitely have. Yep.
I know that the 84 machine, Josh Bittner, this is one of his favorite tracks as well. So look for the 84 to maybe do pretty well tonight. But really, anybody's race.
That it is, as down there on pit road, we got Mr. Adam Turner getting ready for all the fight and action that we've seen here and known to love in turn number 2. Adam, Pocono, man, it's a very difficult track to drive. It's not easy on the tires, but you really can't really save them anywhere because there's not a specific line around this thing.
Really where dreams go to die. That's where your teammates destroy you in turn 2. There's really no way to talk about this track in a good way when your teammates destroy you in turn 2. So keep that in mind when y'all are out there. Watch your teammates. They don't know how to drive, some of them. They might not lift at the right time. Turn 2 is very tricky. You can get in there. Tire wear plays a role. So if you're not lifting at the right point, you have to adjust your lift point every time around the track because it's so dangerous. I learned that the hard way one time with my teammate, turn 2 Pocono. So be careful out there. It is a cool track. Other than that, when your teammates knock you out of the race, it's an awesome track.
You forgot to mention that your teammate might wreck you turn 2.
Yeah, well, they can. You got to be careful about that. That's like my personal key to the race here.
I just didn't want you to forget that.
Yeah, I probably won't ever forget that. 1 fast repair, 80% fuel, 4 sets of tires, and 17 instant points. You're going to be disqualified. On a serious note, this track is really cool. It's totally like nothing else we do here in iRacing or in NASCAR racing. So, but all the turns are different, so you got to really pay attention where you're at.
That
4 sets of tire, is that total?
I believe that's total, yeah.
Yeah, total
Oh
4
my
sets.
goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be. So they're going to be hurting. I mean, you're going to be hurting tonight on tires.
That's going to be rough, boys.
That it is, as we take a look at tonight's race info. The Tricky Triangle in its full form, in shape, in action here tonight. But weather-wise, A-OK in these Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. So these drivers not having to deal with any problems on that front. Bringing us down to tonight's key to the race. And boy, it is a hard task, and it is find the speed. This track really doesn't have that speed line and tire saving line that you'll see at typical 1.5 miles or something like that. You can figure out a way to pick up that extra couple miles an hour in turns 1 and 3, just like you could anywhere else. But man, other than that, you really kind of only got one line to go on.
Yeah, and you're going to see guys coming down this super long front straightaway, involved in the draft. Guys up front maybe trying to defend, trying to break the draft. So maybe not the same thing as running a different line, but you're going to have guys running from the inside wall to the outside wall and back and forth here, either trying to stay in the draft or break the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be single file, but where you make your gains are going to be in the corners. People will lift different in different corners. The tire wear is going to play. Some guys might be a little more aggressive, some more cautious. So that's where you're going to have a little bit of movement in the field, and that's where all the fun stuff happens, like people running into each other and fighting.
Yeah, that we do. As qualifying's been extended a little bit here tonight due to the fact that it is a longer track, trying to allow everyone to get up on and in here, as they currently try to put their best lap times out there right now and qualify. Looks like Jonathan Osborne, though, currently sitting on top of that leaderboard. Let's see if Kelly Keel, Dustin Eaton, Dustin Wade, the man Chandler Paul coming back from his kind of little stint at haunting some houses and whatnot, comes on back here. Oh, big trouble there for Kelly Keel. Looks like him exiting in turn number 3. And turn number 3 is one of those spots where you can pick up a good chunk of time if you hit it just right.
That was my favorite turn when I was racing that. That turn 1 was probably my most hated turn. You know, heavy braking zone, trying to enter it just right. You know, outer, inner, outer there, trying to hit it just perfect. Turn 2, you know, it depends on who's around you. I mean, teammate might be pinching you low or something.
There's no.
Turn 2.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, turn 3 was probably my favorite turn. A lot of people, I guess that's their most difficult part of the track to figure out, but that's the most fun for me is turn 3.
Turn 3, people tend to cook it and drift up high. And if you're managing your tires, you can dip low on them and get a pretty good run on a super fast functional. So it's definitely a place where you can make some games. I agree with you. Turn 1 is super. It's very tough. I've never captured turn 1. I don't know what it feels like to even hit it right. So I think it's definitely the most difficult place on the track.
And another thing about 3 also. Turn 3, when you're coming out of it, it's almost like the wall comes in a little bit. It feels like it anyway. So if you do overcook it, you'll either push it and pancake the wall coming out of 3, or you'll get the rear end and start swinging around on it. So it's one or the other.
As we kind of take a ride here inside the car of the 14 of Dustin Eden as he manages his way through turn number 3 right now and back down that long front straightaway that they got here. His qualifying has gotten over and all that, but I think he might be out there doing some extra practice. We've got a few guys not quite yet qualified here, but Dustin is currently the only guy out there on track. Looks like Trevor Robertson, Jeff Ottinger yet to jump out there for some qualifying. Looks like John Gallagher has run his qualifying laps, just maybe snagged the wall on both of them and just pushing out just a little too far, not able to get a time set here. And looking through this, 747, Albert Anderson. We were in chats with him here earlier. He didn't think he was going to make it, but he did indeed. Currently qualified there in 22nd.
You can always, if you get a Zoom meeting for work, just make sure they just can't see the steering. Good.
Yeah, he's probably in the meeting right now, which is fine. That guy can drive. You don't need to really concentrate too much on the work part. I'm sure he's got that down. Just keep it between the lines until the boss man tells you to shut the Zoom off. Then you can party, man. And the Zoom thing is I like it because you don't have to go to the meeting. You can wear your shorts.
Pants.
Yeah, but it gives these idiots an opportunity to have more meetings. That's part of the problem.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, these clowns think, well, we need to have a meeting. Well, we can do a Zoom meeting. Nobody cares. Yeah, I care.
Convenient.
It's so convenient, but my time is not convenient. So I'm anti-meeting, anti-Zoom meeting. I'm pretty much anti-everything. I don't know if y'all noticed.
Yeah, if you have a problem with somebody, just fight it out in the street or in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's
don't
not
have a meeting.
No, exactly. Thank you. One guy messes up, we don't need to have a Zoom meeting about everybody else and their problems. Okay?
Just give them a little blanket party, you know. Take care of it internally.
I think you're onto something there. Yeah.
Indeed, as
borrow soap.
Qualifying is about to come to a close here, and the gap between first and 29th is 0.66. Woo, this one's going to be a fun one, boys, as qualifying does come to a close, and we officially have our starting grid all ready to go. Let's get on down here to show everybody where their favorite driver is going to be starting here tonight. And that gets us started off here with the 81 of Jonathan Osborne winning pole position. Already a race winner here this season. Also the 66 of Todd Smith going to be starting on his outside here. So a good starting spot for Todd. 753, Jeremiah Burke. He's surrounded by a good bunch of teammates here, starting in third with his teammate, the 751 of Mike Adamson, starting in fourth, and another teammate of his, Timothy Pope, in the 728, starting in fifth. So man, the team Limitless coming out in droves here, all up inside this top 5. You also got the 33 of Jess Vaught and the 92 of Greg Klein for Vigilante Force here, starting 6th and 7th. They're definitely going to be looking forward to maybe making some moves here and move up that leaderboard. You also got the 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon. He's a race winner already here this season, starting in 8th. Got the 6 of Austin Reeves starting in 9th, with the 18 of Andrew Player rounding out tonight's starting top 10.
11th place starting tonight will be the 58 of Robert Chipman. 12th place will be the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. The 28 of George Rincon will start inside road number 7. And on the outside will be the 01 of Kelly Keel. Dustin Eaton in the 14 will finish, or he'll start rather, in 15th place. And the 63 of Josh Oxendine starting outside row number 8. Row number 9 is going to be the 82 of Everidge and the 68 of Dustin Wade. Let's see. Row number 10 is going to be the 4 of Deion Jones and the 5 of Jonah Long. Row 11 is going to be the 72 of Chandler Paul and the 747 of America's driver, Albert Anderson. Row number 12 is going to be the 29 of Dave the Mouth Mayberry and the 74 of Robert Jordan. Let's see. Charlie Herkis and Mike Sobanovsky make up a row 13. Row 14 is going to be the 49 of David Kelly and the 20 of Jeffrey Johnson. And rounding out your top 30, the 1 of David Fight will start alongside the 2 of David Amick.
Yeah, thanks for all that extra work there. 64 Trevor Robertson will start 31st. 76 Jeff Ogner 32nd. 25 Cody Tarrant 33rd. 99 of Chris Sofeld 34th. 10 at Andrew Coffin, 35th. Number 7, Russ Kilgore. Who's interested to see what he can do back there at 36. 1, 2, 3, John Gallagher, 37. And Russell, 37. Rounded out at 38.
And that is your massive field here from Pocono. We are so happy to see that out here tonight as these guys trundle along behind the pace car, getting ready to get that green flag for the first time here tonight, rounding turn number 2 right now.
I love a big field, and you know what that means. It means attrition positions are going to be very important. If you get a DNF or 2, you know, which is possible. They only have 1 fast repair here tonight and an incident count limit of 17. So if they either get DQ'd or they run out of fast repairs, you better believe a lot of these guys, even if they have damage, are going to keep it on the track out there, try to make up attrition positions because the points are worth so much.
That they are, as they trundle their way through turns, just turn 3. What turn 4, as you can see there on that back wall. Pace car making its dive on down into pit lane. Green flag is ready, and away we go, side by side. First time here tonight as they make their way down and across the line. The long shuffle here. You can see the mayhem going on behind these leaders. Some 2 wide, 3 wide action heading into turn number 1. Still side by side, Osborne and Adamson. Adamson trying to get a run here on the outside of Osborne, and this is one of the only turns that you can actually do that on, is pick up a little run by running a different line here, and that's exactly what Adamson is doing, getting that push from the 33 of Jess Vaught, trying to leapfrog over that 81 of Osborne into turn number 2 now. Sliding, oh man, there was not enough room there for a butter knife as the 81 cuts back across the 33, man. It gets tight in turn number 2, but they managed to make that one work. Coming on down now through turn number 3, Adamson in the lead with fighting Osborne and Vaught in tow. They come down and across the line and complete lap number 1.
Tight turn 2 right there between the player and the 92 of Greg Klein as well, as they tried to occupy the same space there. It's really hard to judge turn 2 on the first lap because your tires are still very cold on that truck.
That they are, as you can see, people slicing and dicing, trying to figure ways around each other here. This one being 80 laps long. Expect those guys' tires who are fighting hard right now maybe to wear out just that little bit quicker. As we see there, that 18 of players starting to try to creep back up on the... oh, man, the 92 Greg Klein just barely love-tapped the 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon there. Thankfully, I believe Ripper... Yeah, he's going to make it 3 wide now, but thankfully it looked like the 48 machine able to quickly readjust it and maintain control as they hustle down this front straightaway again.
Now there's some cool stuff going on back here. John Gallagher, the 1, 2, 3 is up 11, and Russ Kilgore right behind him up 9.
They're flying side by side again. Yeah, John Osborne with the fastest lap time so far, 54.99. They'll actually speed up a little bit more, I think, as these guys start getting these tires kind of broke in, get a couple laps on them. The fastest laps are yet to come as the 92 and the 18 got into it. Line went up and shut the door. We got the 82 is around Michael Everett. Oh, more wrecks. Please slow down, guys. 82 average, some pretty good damage on the truck. Left side's banged up. What happened?
Let's go see on the exit of 2. Oh, it just got a little snug up there, and he gets up into trying to see through the smoke. Looks like Dustin Wade getting involved in that one on that far outside lane. Let's go ahead and take a view from our sponsored, not sponsored chopper camera here. Making that hustle down into turn number 2 here. The 82 just trying to make that one stick. Looks like he did. Oh, just came back up the track just a little too much. Everybody trying to avoid it. Oh, man, the orange Home Depot truck getting involved in it as well.
One of these days, we're going to watch one of these races, and these guys are going to figure out that when the yellow flag comes out, the field's frozen. You can slow way down, you know.
No, go ahead and punch it, you know. just punch it like Days of Thunder. Yeah, we had a...
Lord.
And this isn't the only league. This is common in iRacing.
Oh, yeah.
This is what... I don't understand it either. I mean... Whatever.
Well, I'm...
A little bit up. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at it was the 20 of Ethan Johnson who tagged Everett there at the end. He was slowing down as much as he could, man, without sliding those wheels and locking everything up. And he ended up paying the price for it. He went down into the grass and hit that inside wall hard, putting some major engine damage on that thing. He was spraying for mosquitoes all the way down until he pit.
Oh, there was several of them that came there. It didn't look like they're on the brakes much, but of course, watching from the blimp cam, it can be deceiving.
Yeah, we like to blame people. Don't get your feelings hurt. We might not have called the race right. There are some people in iRacing, this platform, that do blow through it when there's problems ahead of them. So it's just common. But here, Everett just kind of drifted up the track. He didn't door the guy like you doored me, but he definitely drifted up into Wade's way.
Let's see what's going over there on the YouTube chat. Chan the Man saying, what's up, Triple A? Finally back in the sim. We're glad to have you. Halloween's over. No more haunted house work for Chandler. Adam Turner. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to block that comment right there.
Of course.
He said, hope nobody pulls an Alan English in turn 2. Sorry about that, buddy. I'm still apologizing years later. Tony Pope says he's going to miss tonight's race. Got some spear hunting here in Michigan. Go wicked loose, team. Go get it, boys. Richard Gray saying, AAA, let's get it, brothers. Pretty bad Michelob impression, but he says, keep up the great work, team. Jake Kutcher is out there. He's pulling for Chachi, of course. Jonathan Osborne out there. Chan the Man says a lot of guys are really fast here. It should be fun. We mentioned Brown, how close everybody qualified, and kind of seeing real close racing out there as a result. You know, everybody kind of on a level playing field out here with their big setups. Let's see, who else we got here? Kathy Anderson saying, let's get it, Albert. And Edith Anderson here as well. We're in the house. Team Anderson is here. Joe Baboon here as well. Let's see who else we got. Reeves Brother Racing. Just send it. Rambling about racing number 6 and number 83. Fans are out there tonight.
That they are, and I know, Turner, you were focused there on Tony Poke Salad. Tony's comment there. He's hunting up there in Michigan. He's probably out there with Ted Nugent.
Well, I would hope so. He's got to be hunting those same woods as Ted Nugent. If you see Ted, let him know we want to tell him hello. And hadn't seen him in a while. Yeah, the old wild man himself.
Indeed, as we get stacked up behind the pace truck here once again, 33 and the 81 going to be starting side by side. The Limitless teammates Burke and Adamson are going to be side by side right behind them. And oh, here we go, the 48 and the 728. We've already seen these guys have some crazy racing here earlier this season. They're going to be starting right behind them. Klein and Reeves are going to be starting together side by side. Player and Wittenberg all up inside this top 10. Ricky still suffering some after effects here from a jellyfish sting from his vacation, so hopefully his hand will be okay here for this long, grueling race here tonight at Pocono. Kelly Keel, Robert Chipman doing pretty good so far. Same thing with Josh Oxendine. Hanging around up there inside that top 15. Of course, you mentioned it earlier, that 123 John Gallagher, he's already up a good chunk of spots right now, hanging around up 14, up 15 spots, around 23rd here. He's going to be starting to the outside of the 83 of Charlie Herkis as we kind of round turn number 3 here and get ready for things to get back underway.
Fun to play with, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got a remedy. I don't know if you tried it. It usually works.
No,
Peeing on it?
Letting Brown do his job, yeah.
Well,
Peeing.
either way, we got the 81 getting a good restart here on the 33, trying to make a move here on the outside. We saw Adamson earlier here on the first start here make a good move as, man, Vaught and Burke diving it down low, able to make that one stick and get way out in front of Osborne there without too much of a problem. He's still got Timothy Pope. He's going side by side with that 92 of Klein now moving up to that single file line. Here comes Jack the Ripper Dixon trying to slide up the inside here of Osborne. He does that before they enter turn number 2.
They're wrecking. Oh, big wreck. Dave Mayberry. 123 to fall. Charlie Herkis is mad on the radio, boy.
Turn 2 got him again.
Turn 2 got him again as they...
Ooh, this Herkis guy's, he's a wild man. He's not happy.
Oh, man, Mayberry went for a wild ride here. Let's, I thought we got a good view of it there, but we're going to have to head on up to the chopper camera once again to really get our eyes glued here on this one. The 83 was side by side, moved up. The 123 was there, and that's kind of what sent him around. Oh, man, the 63 getting involved in that one as well. It's the 123 getting involved. Looks like the 10 of Andrew Cawthon, he got involved in it. Kind of towards the tail end of it here.
Anybody should be mad, I would think it'd be Dave Mayberry. Oh, maybe I'm seeing it from a different angle.
Oh, 68 of Dustin Wade getting tangled up in that shenanigans too. Same thing with Chan the Man, Chandler Paul getting involved in this one here.
Well, the good thing about this is, you know, Charlie Herkis will be able to go down and get his fast repair and get back out there. I mean, the race is not over at this point.
Yeah, that's one of those ones you might want to look at after the race. You get pinched a little, but you do have to take your own driving into account. Some of this stuff. Yeah, that's one of those things. You're just in the race. You're kind of mad.
Yeah, we didn't see the whole. We just watched the result there at the end.
Yeah.
We didn't see what happened in the previous turn or so. You know, that could have been something.
I ain't gonna blame anybody, but I'd like to see this fight or something. Maybe a wrestling match.
There you go.
Maybe like a beer drinking contest. I don't know, something. Let's get this feud
Well,
going.
if you have that first, maybe they'll end up, not arguing at all.
Oh,
Diplomacy
little-
may reign the day.
there's a little bit of activity in the chats. And this place is getting crazy.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and talk to one of these drivers here, as it looks like it's going to be just a little too early for some pit stops to happen here. That's going to be 18 at Andrew Player. Just got to find his correct team. Doo-doo-doo. There he is. Hey, Andrew, it's the guys in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, my New Hampshire friend. Well, up there in that top 10. Couple quick cautions here. Haven't really seen you guys have a good little bit of a run here, but I'm sure that is coming. What are you kind of noticing down there on track? Because up here it looks like everybody's running pretty dang close to the same speed here, and passing is definitely going to be a difficult time.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the challenge, is getting around people out here. It's tight racing, especially up here in the front. Greg Klein and I there have a pretty good race there earlier on, and I think that's just a challenge, is finding that right way to get around somebody out here.
Well, we've been watching that race between you and Klein, and we've known Greg for many, many years. He's a very competitive guy, but he believe me, he is having a blast out there with you, Greg.
Yeah, I can believe it. It got kind of close there coming out of 2 at one point. I'm glad I lifted a bit for him there, because it was real close.
Well, he owes you one then. Make sure and let him know.
You guys be sure to tell him for me if you talk to him.
Will do.
Well, be careful. I think we've heard a little anger out there on the track. So be careful. Long race, and good luck to you.
All right, thank you much. Appreciate it.
Sending them on back down there, Mr. Andrew Player. Always good to have drivers with their face cam up, even though you can't really see Andrew's face as he's racing in that VR. He kind of actually almost looks like Earl Evans there. If Earl Evans was racing in VR.
Well, here's the thing. Andrew's not eating a piece of pizza or a sandwich or something. We've caught Earl several times on camera. He'll be eating a slice of pizza or something, cruising down the road. Usually that's just during practice. Yeah, VR is so much fun to race in, as you know. And, you just get so much better situational awareness, spatial awareness. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
It really is. I was actually going through some of my super, super old videos that I put up earlier today with some of my solo racing stuff before I had VR, and just realizing what the difference is from then to now. It's like, oh my goodness, how did I ever race with triples without VR? And then I realized, triples are pretty good. Either way, we got the field stacked back up here behind the pace car, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here onto lap number 11. A little too early again for pit stops. I got a feeling if we see another quick one here, we maybe see drivers come on down, maybe for some fuel, but that'll be about it.
Yeah, these guys have really got to ration those tires closely.
As there it goes, pace car off down into pit lane, and off we go back to green flag racing here. Oh, a little bit of squirreliness happening in the mid pack there. Maybe do some checkups, and maybe due to just getting on that gas a little too hard. But either way, people trying to figure out where they want to be as they're side by side down into turn number 1. That's gonna be Burke and Vaught. Vaught looking, believe it or not, still for his first win here this season. Oh, as Osborne was snagging that outside wall just a little bit as they trundle on down this kind of, I don't want to say back straightaway because it's really not back, but the stretch between turns 1 and 2 as Timothy Pope making use of that apron a little bit down there.
Yeah, Greg Klein got a couple tires down, and he got a little wiggly there as that transition was not very friendly.
Greg joining us here with the face cam as well. You can see him talking with his teammates there and making sure everyone's all in communication with each other and trying to fight his way up through this field. Currently in 9th, but you can best be sure he definitely wants something a little better than that.
Dustin Wade out of the race already. Let us know on YouTube chat. And, let's see. He had to use his only fast repair after the first caution, and then he completely blew the motor on the second spin out there. Replacing the motor, getting that thing back out on the track. That's how 5 minutes. So he is done for the night. Better luck next week there, Dustin. And as I told him, it's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen when you get this many cars out, or trucks in this case, out on the track. You can have the big one, here at Pocono. It's not just
This guy's 20, probably 20 through 25, and really getting after it.
Well, same thing as we were 3 wide heading on down into turn number 166 of Todd Smith was 3 wide there with Jonah Long, got George Rincon in that mix as well, but they were able to thankfully figure it out. It is a wide track, so they do have a little bit of room in especially turns 1 and 3. Turn 2, not so much. Even 2 wide in turn 2 gets very dangerous here. So we'll continue to look forward for that action here as the 18 of Andrew Player and that 92 of Klein, they continue their battle right where they left off as they head on down turn number 3, 2 wide here.
check out the Rod Baker Ford F1 with Russ Kilgore in that number 7. Moving on up like he always does. Up 15 spots. He just took another one from the 4 here. 22nd place.
I think he likes running from the back and trying to run down the cars up front. So looking good. And you know who else is looking good? America's driver, number 747, Albert Anderson. He's up 10. Really good night so far. He had a birthday this week, though, Albert. So
Yeah, he did.
happy birthday, belated.
And he's trying to follow that 63 of Josh Oxendine right now around the 6 of Austin Reeves, as they're going to be side by side in front of old Albert here. Heading on down into turn number 3. You can see there Ricky Wittenberg not too far behind him, trying to make sure if they make a mistake, he's going to be able to pounce and jump right back up into this thing. And still got some fighting going on here up at the front as well, as Jess Fott leads this one over Jack the Ripper Dixon and Jeremiah Burke. Dixon going out wide here in turn number 1. We've seen a lot of drivers kind of use that to maybe get the better runoff here, especially with the fresher tires. You can kind of make it stick a little bit better here, but once one of these tires wear off, man, you got to be down as far as possible here. Otherwise, you're going to go up and snag that wall, and it's just not going to be a fun day.
Yeah, you can't really diamond the corners or anything here. I mean, it's just a completely different track than anywhere else. His crew out there. Albert Player, or Andrew Player with a problem.
Yeah, he and Greg Klein got into it here. Let's go back and watch a replay of what happened. Again, turn number 2, just close racing. Oh, little body shove there from the 92 up into the 18 as the 18 snags that outside wall. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, man. That 92 and the 18, they were going to have a battle all race long, and it was going to take something like that to kind of put it at least on ice for a minute, as the 18 now having to fight back through all this traffic. He's going to probably have to use a fast repair the next time he comes down into the pit lane.
All right, Adam, what do you think about that? I mean, at least he didn't destroy both of the vehicles.
Oh, that was nothing.
You've seen worse, really?
I have. Yeah, I mean, it is Pocono. There's a lot of sliding on the track. I'm exaggerating a little bit about how brutal the assault was that she gave me. I mean, it was bad.
I think we milked that joke enough and that have to retire now.
No, we're never going to retire now.
Can we vote on it?
Yeah, fans can vote. If we retired, I mean, it's fine.
I can vote, we can vote.
Oh, that doesn't work that way. But, I mean, who's up here? Looks like George Rincone's making some moves. I just saw him pass Reeves. So, He's looking sharp out there in that 28 Goodweiser truck.
He is. We were just actually kind of towards the back with Robert Jordan, Ethan Johnson, Mike Sobanowski there, and well, that's not even in the back. That's in the middle with such a high field here around 21st through 23rd. They were having a good battle there. A solid set of 2 wide racing action going on. We also have that 18 Andrew Player just continuing to bleed spots here. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the first ones to pit under green flag here, because he is just so much more off the pace than everybody else right now.
Yeah, that's in the place you want to be off the pace. That's for sure.
John DeLong and Austin Reeves, that rambling about racing truck. These guys are really battling it out. Here comes Trevor Roberts in that Gorilla Glue paint scheme that he's made so famous here at VRL. He's looking to the inside of Reeves.
Yeah, this seems like a track he would do well at, Trevor. I think we saw him a couple seasons ago. He was always up the front, so he's up 15 right now. That might be somebody to watch for the end of this thing.
Yeah, he was out for what, a whole season and then come back. So.
As the
Glad to see him out there on the track.
As the battles continue to wage on here at Pocono. Ooh, almost had a little bit of action there coming out of turn 3 and onto that front straightaway, but people able to figure that one out. We're side by side here with the 58 of Chipman and the 28 of George Rincon. It looks like George is going to be able to hold off and win that battle for right now. We also got Oxendine still having a good battle here. Looks like he's going to be side by side with the 66 of Todd Smith. Todd jumping up behind him here as they're getting into that very dangerous turn number 2. Oh my goodness.
82 involved, and that's where it started. Kind of a lot going on there. I think Deion Jones was involved. Oh yeah, started with the 82 and the number 4. Looks like the 82 came up a little bit.
It did a little bit, snagging that 482, went back down across the track. Ooh, hard impact there. People ducking and diving, trying to get out of the way. And let's go ahead and take a view here from that chopper camera. It's looks like the 25, the W machine, and he got into him hard here as well.
Heard that it sounded like Ford was telling the 82, so, hey buddy, you're not clear. You are not clear. And it looks like he just was pushing up the track. And it's almost like, see, when you have net code, how the truck kind of jerks to one side. Did you see the 82 just kind of jerk to the right a little bit? I don't think that was him. I think that may have been a net code issue.
Or is it the air coming off these trucks? I don't know. He was sliding up the track. I mean, he really was. Well, however it happened, there's some angry people out there, so this is the best part about it. I have been talking all night. These guys, Pocono just brings out the hate, animosity, and anger.
It's dangerous. I mean, it's a dangerous track to run around here at high speed, and
well,
sometimes you don't have enough running out of, enough, what do you call it, runoff area to dodge anything. I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do.
You can get all your tires. Yeah, everybody needs to get tires and fuel. So what are they going to split it? 20, 40, 60? Wait, I don't know. How many tires we got, Brown? What are we going to do here?
Well, you're the one that called him out earlier. You know how many tires these guys have.
Oh, I know, but what are you going to do?
But
so you got to save them at one point, right?
Well, in 80-lap race, and if you got 3 sets, because I think they had 4 total here, so 20, 40, 60 is the way to go with that competition yellow coming out at 40. So everybody coming on down and into the pits. Jack the Ripper Dixon, though, he might have only taken 2, so that might throw a wrench in the scheme of things here. He's going to beat everybody off of pit road. Deion Jones, I think, came down on a close pit, so he will be serving in EOL for that one. But it's going to be Dixon, Vaught, Burke. I think Johnson ended up maybe staying out here. Adamson, Wittenberg, Oxendine, Pope, and Kelly Keel all up inside this top 10. I mean, so we had a whole bunch, we had the whole field come on down here pretty much. And that really shook some things up. You got people out there who had some damage and they're just getting it done manually here, like Austin Reeves, Andrew Player, Mike Everidge, Cody Tarrant, Andrew Cawthon, who we saw get into it there with Greg Klein, just kind of racing deal between those two, Chris Zofeld, and John Gallagher all down there in the pits. Still the only disconnect right now, that 68 of Dustin Wade, who unfortunately just was not his night here tonight.
Yeah, really close race off of pit road with Ricky Wittenberg and a couple other trucks there. He was kind of the peanut butter and the sandwich there as they come out across that white line to get back out there. That was pretty exciting watching these guys race off the pit road. Speaking of Dustin Wade, though, he says, I guess he's talking about the 82. He said he did the same thing to me. That's what caused the first caution. He says, I already got my jack handle out of the hauler. So they're getting ready for the end of this deal in the pit area. So watch out.
Well, I'll be down there and kind of make a coordinated attack.
You can be the ringside announcer, what you're going to let's get ready to rumble.
I'll just lead him to where he needs to go just so I can witness it. You know? 82's haulers on the south end of this whole configuration, so we'll get you down there if you want to.
You want me to get a golf cart? We can ride it down.
Yeah, that's always cool when you just jump out of the golf cart and start swinging. Probably the best idea. But man, these guys are still talking a lot of mess out here on the radio. I love it. This is great. Pocono is fun.
Hey, I think they're going to have to figure something out here. Deion Jones being scored ahead of these guys here. And kind of out there, so we'll see. They might delay this one by a lap here to make sure everyone gets to where they need to be. Still got a whole bunch of everybody still in the dog fight. That is Pocono here, out here in the great woods of Pennsylvania. We've had a lot of good people here from Pennsylvania race with us that have really loved going to watch these Pocono races.
Ethan Johnson, number 20 home depot machine. He's up 23 positions, y'all. He is on a mission.
He kind of gets a little bit of that benefit here. As well, looks like they're going to send the pace truck on down.
Send Deion Jones out the back, so watch him. They're going to try to pass him here.
Yeah, that they are, as we get the green flag followed by an immediate yellow. I got a feeling it's because Deion was down there. Oh, we got some people bobbing and weaving here.
Yep. We got some black flags now. Deion Jones black flag, Andrew Cawthon black flag.
Well, I don't think they meant for that to happen. Deion was just the way he was supposed to be in the back. There was iRacing issue. It'll get squared away. So we went down and caused a caution.
Because he did pit, and he was just trying to correct the scoring here. The admins told him, "Hey man, just stay low, don't cross the finish line, let everybody around," and it's still threw a flag. So
yeah, because
we'll get it sorted out. This should be a quickie caution, maybe.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, that should. That hopefully is the case here as we continue to kind of pace along here at Pocono, get things all figured out. Of course, you know, they're real life NASCAR. They've got guys in the booth telling where everybody should go, and they can have as many caution laps. It's not like iRacing where you're kind of, you know, you only got a limited amount of time here. iRacing or NASCAR controls those cautions over there, which is why you see drivers throwing styrofoam cups out the window.
Lori's got the capability to add caution lamps if need be, or shorten cautions if need be. Yeah, we see anybody coming down, so they may get back too wide here when they come back around. I imagine that will be the case, but we'll see here in just a minute.
Yahtzee.
As we continue to ride around here tonight, we thank you all for tuning in and watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. It's Right now we're in the holiday season, so the schedule kind of goes into a little craziness action here. But when we're not in this kind of crazy time, well, we're here 5 nights a week, and you don't want to miss a single second of this race in action that we're going to be able to bring to you. So be sure to get notified by ringing that notification bell. And you know what? If you're liking what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, because that just spreads the word to the algorithm of YouTube that, hey, people are liking this. Maybe we should share it with more people. And the more people we get in here, man, it is absolutely crazy. Speaking of which, normally I really don't like to talk about algorithm stuff, because that's not the reason why we're here. We're here to watch some good racing and have some fun with all y'all out there in the YouTube land. But we have crossed the threshold of 10,000 views in total across our channel. So we thank you guys so much, and that because of that unlocks some opportunities for us here, and we're able to now do like custom posts and all that. So we can keep the YouTube audience, for those that may not necessarily be on the Facebooks, we can keep them up to date here now as well.
10,000 total views? I mean, across all your videos, is that?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
We're actually now that I've looked, it is 12,500 views. So we thank you. We thank you guys so much for that, because that's all you guys. That's nothing we could do other than just show up here.
Half of those are Albert Anderson's family's views. I guarantee you.
Oh, at
Well,
least.
we appreciate all the fans out there. You guys are driving the ship here, basically. We sure appreciate all the support we've gotten from y'all over the past, how long have we been on AAA broadcast? Last year?
About a year now, I think, yeah. Well, either way, here we go, back to green flag racing. Everything's all figured out, and away we go down this front straightaway side by side, the 33 and the 48, heading on down into that treacherous turn number 1. Who is going to get the run out of that turn? As looks like Jess Vought's going to be able to lead that charge. Ethan Johnson kind of looking down low here and merges with that traffic, trying to get inside the 48.
66 got into the wall there. Looks like he's able to figure it out there, but he did lose some position.
Yeah, it's a lot of people kind of just moving around on the track. That's just the nature of it.
It is, as Jonathan Osborne on that far outside lane. He's going to be 3 wides with some people. Ooh, that was through turn number 2 as well. Able to keep that thing straight and steady here as they head on down into turn number 3 now. He's got George McCon and Trevor Robertson breathing up his back end here as they make their way down onto this front straightaway. Going to be 3 wide behind them. You got Robert Chipman joining in that fight now, as well as that 92 of Greg Klein getting some damage fixed now and having to fight back up through this field. Plenty of time still left in the race for that. However, if we know anything about these guys, once when you get a taste of racing up at the front, man, you want nothing else but to get back on up there, as we got Jess Vaught and Jeremiah Burke battling side by side.
A little off topic, but this kid from Baton Rouge on the mound for the Phillies is really shutting Astros off.
What are you trying to stick the dagger in somebody while they're trying to watch a race?
Well, that's a fantastic picture. Yeah, I'm kind of pulling for the Astros, too.
No, there's a lot of, look at Robertson snaking up some Rincon, Greg Klein, 92, Henry.
They're not afraid to get getting bumpers close, are they?
No, definitely not, as we got the 728 of Timothy Pope and the 63 Josh Oxendine side-by-side battling here, with the 747 of Anderson hanging up there with them as well, up inside this top 10. Osborne continuing to fight kind of along behind him here. Let's go ahead and take a ride here with the 14 of Dustin Eaton, who's behind that 7 of Russ Kilgore. That's a guy you want to be behind, because you know if you're behind him, you're going to be moving up forward through this field.
Knows how to find his way through the traffic. That's 7 every dead gum week. He starts in the back and works his way up to either a top 5 or top 10. I think he just likes passing trucks. If the guy qualified well, he wouldn't have to pass his truck.
Look at, I think he's doing it on purpose. Look at 0-1 Kelly Kill. He's there's just some good runs being made out here. Out of turn 3 and out of turn 1, it seems like certain people get a different run.
Oh,
it's pretty fun to watch.
Here comes Oxendine on that far outside lane, making it 3 wide here with Keel, and it looks like that was the 20 of Ethan Johnson. They're able to figure it out kind of here before turn number 2. Still going to be 2 wide as Keel and Oxendine were side by side. Now Anderson and Oxendine side by side. Ethan Johnson scraping that outside wall.
Yeah, that Home Depot truck. He's going to need some of that Home Depot paint for the right side. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, so watch 0-1 here in turn 3. He's going to have a good run. He did last time. And then when you get to turn 1, so the 63 Oxendine has a good run coming at 1. So everybody has their little place where they tend to like it a little bit more. Albert Anderson's trying to make a run right now on the inside of 63.
In the 64 machine, Trevor Robertson, he's got turn 3 figured out, son. Every time he comes out of 3, he's like me. He loves turn 3. He slides up that sucker, and he comes close to the wall, but he's got such a good run coming off of it. I've seen him make several passes coming off of turn 3.
Ooh, as we got some bump drafting going on there, you could see the night. Oh, Ethan Johnson wiggling, bobbing, and weaving here right around where Greg Klein is still 3 wide as they're going to head on down into turn number 3. Probably one of the widest corners here. It's also one of the flattest corners here as well, and it's still going to be 3 wide as they make their way down this front straightaway.
Good job keeping it clean there. Between the 28 and 10, a couple of trucks behind it there, they kept it all clean, stayed off of each other. Albert Anderson's daddy there on saying, top 10, Albert, yes.
And he's still fighting harder than the real Mrs. Poindexter out there with that 63 of Oxendine, 64 of Robertson, though. He's trying to get back up here in the mix. I think Albert's realizing being stuck on that bottom line here in turn number 1's not quite working out for him as he's gotten kind of suction cup there and slowed down a little bit as the 64 trying to make a move here. Not quite able to do it as he's got Wittenberg and Klein coming up his rear end here as they enter turn number 3.
To answer your question, Edith, no, not in this league.
It was this one in the first season. We had Angelica Timmerman from up there in Canada, the dispatcher. I think she's taken a break from racing, but I have seen recent reports that she was starting to make a little bit of a comeback, so hopefully we can see her back out here on the track again. And I'm sure, oh man, one of my nieces is super involved in this as well. She loves A, watching it, and B, anytime she's over, she wants to sit in my seat and drive a little bit. So hopefully she gets involved in it too.
We need more female iRacing. Come on. It's just as fun because we like watching the race. Enjoying that.
Drivers in general, we've got a crop of female racing drivers coming out from ARCA and Truck Series right now.
We've always had some. There's always been a few.
There's always been a couple. Jennifer Jo Cobb, one of the pioneers.
Yeah.
There's some more coming up to take their place.
Danica Patrick, I know you loved her. She got her a NASCAR ride.
So we got
I don't know how though.
We got a good battle here going on between Adamson and his teammate Pope here in a battle for third. A good chunk away from their other teammate of Burke and Vaught out there in the lead by a good chunk of time. Jack the Ripper Dixon kind of hanging on in there trying to get his name back into the mix. But we really have this battle for the top 10 spot. And of course, there are staged bonus points here as well, and it cuts off at 10th. So these guys fighting for all important points as Greg Klein currently holds that 10th position, but he's got that too of David Emig. You got 81 Jonathan Osborne up there as well, hunting to find some points.
Adam, I'm not talking junk about nobody. I'm just saying, if you're going from open wheel thinking you can drive in NASCAR, I think it's Just that easy to swap over. You got another thing coming.
Oh yeah, no, there's she
Different
just
animal.
it didn't work out. But you got other drivers. Haley Deegan's out there. She's up and coming. There's several, and
Park is full of them. There's
yeah. And if you go to your local dirt track, you're gonna see some females get in there and win some races for sure.
and drag racing. It's becoming.
It's always been good.
Oh man! Well, I started with my Aunt Sue in her station back at Tesla. She started it.
Shirley went down. Aunt Sue was probably right there with her.
My great aunt. So yeah, it was a long time.
As Ethan Johnson coming on down into the pits. He did last pit on lap number 4, so that's about 20 laps ago. So he's probably really either A, starting to feel the tires, or B, starting to run out of fuel. Not quite sure what these guys can do on a fuel run here. I got a feeling right around that 20 to 25 mark is probably right around it.
Are you guys surprised that we're seeing so much side-by-side here? Is this just a product of the truck platform, where it's a little bit more forgiving and they're kind of allowed to go side-by-side here? And I like it.
I mean, that might be some of it, but you also have 40 trucks on the track, so there's a lot of competition. And there's a lot of guys in your league, right? So not everybody's the best. Or you have a bad night, but you're always going to have somebody you're competing with, which is fun. Like right here, Urkus and Tarrant, they're battling out for 27th spot. Still a good battle, right? It's racing. So it's fun all the way down the track.
It is. And Alan, if you had asked me that question before this race, like at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I would have said, nah, these guys are probably going to get, if they get a green flag run, it'll spread out. It'll be, it'll be pretty calm. But now after watching qualifying and watching what we've been seeing out here tonight, man, I am very pleasantly surprised to see how many guys are running at speed and are finding people to pair up with and have good battles with.
Speaking of battles right now, looks like Jeffrey Johnson is now the first truck one lap down, so he's in line for a lucky dog if he can get a caution here. He'll have 34 trucks on the lead lap. Damn, it's just a product of a giant racetrack here, 2.5 mile triangle.
It's Ethan or Jeremy, it's hard to tell. He's got 2 different names, Ethan or Jeffrey. Whichever one he wants to go by.
I'm just going by what's
Yeah, he's on iRacing, he's one thing on the other scoring table.
okay, I got you.
We're just calling Johnson. Ooh, Silvanovsky. What happened?
Him and Joe Long about got into it.
Yeah. Well, Jordan and Jones got into it too. Deion Jones must have a lag on that.
Yeah, I think he does.
As he continues to try to climb up this leaderboard here, currently scored down there in 29th, but definitely looking for a good comeback here later on in this run. That 34 of Sobnowski is running okay right now in 19th, having a good battle with Robert Shipman, George McCon, and Todd Smith. Kind of back here just outside of that top 15, so look forward for him to maybe make some moves back up here this leaderboard. Talking about as well as the 14, Dustin Eaton. He's still right around where he started with the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg right behind him here in 14th, looking to try to continue his climb up this leaderboard. But how about that 2 of David Emig? Started way in the back, up 21 spots. Now up inside this top 10. Same thing with the 64, Trevor Robertson, up 24 spots here inside this top 10.
92 trying to make a move on the 7 going into turn 1 right here. Man, he just had a little bit better line or outbreak the 7 there. Now he's side by side with Oxidine in that 63 Bobcat machine.
Well, we got a little insider information. Dustin Wade tells us 22 laps on fuel is what his truck showed for him. He only made it a few laps, but that's what it was showing us. That may be it for the fuel.
Dustin, he's going for Eaton out there and Team Tank.
As the Limitless teammates have caught up to their other teammate, Adamson and Pope work their way around Jeremiah Burke to move up into second and third, but still a Limitless dominated top 5 here, running second, third, and fourth. But we also have the 33 of Jess Vaught way out there in front. Absolutely no pressure coming up from behind him here. Jess being one of those guys, he just hasn't had that like extra luck here to pick up a win this season. He's done everything he could, as we're now on lap 39, about to go on to lap 40 here in just a short while to go, and that will bring out that competition. Yellow and boys, we've now had a pretty good long run, and we still got that side-by-side action, especially here in this battle for that final top 10 spot.
Fighting out to the very end. They got about less than a mile to go here before they start that very important final lap.
Just being held right now by that 7 of Russ Kilgore, but Oxendine, Klein, and Osborne all in it here for a chance to get that one extra bonus point, which can make or break it here as we kind of close down the second half of this regular season, as race number 12 is going to be the last race to try to get yourself in to that kind of championship playoff.
Yeah, a little bit different format this year with the playoffs. It's going to be exciting. What you get there, Adam?
Well, I just like that we're going to have a stage break here. We're going to re-rack them, and you can stay within striking distance here in the top 10, 15, as we're having this stage break. You change your strategy a little bit, but man, you could have a chance of winning this thing.
As there is the caution as the leader came back down across the line. So Jess Vaught, your stage winner here in stage number 1. And it looks like Kilgore is going to take home that 10th place bonus point there. You also got Emig finishing in 9th, Anderson finishing inside that top 10 in 8th, Robertson 7th, Kelly Keel having a solid run here in 6th, Jack the Ripper Dixon with a top 5 for the stage, 753, Jeremiah Burke, top 4. In 3rd, Timothy Pope. 2nd, we got Mike Adamson. And yes, Jess Vaught picking up that stage win in those big 10 bonus points.
Man, Mr. Jeffrey Johnson's got a lot of questions for the administration here tonight. He's trying to get the black flag clear.
Yeah, I think he was on his way into the pit lane when they closed the pits on lap 38, and he wasn't aware. I think that's his argument. We'll see what the admins decide. They try to be as fair as they can here.
That they do as the field catches on up to the pace truck here halfway through this race from Pocono. A great race thus far, and we still got halfway of it left to go. And so with that, go ahead and go check out tonight's great race sponsors of D&D Race Graphics. You can see there you had Ricky Wittenberg with some fantastic paint schemes out here on the racetrack here tonight. Always. Anytime that a broadcaster can easily pick your car out because it's just so out there and you know it's that person's scheme, man, it makes our job easier, and it makes everyone else's job so much easier too, because they'd be like, hey man, that's Ricky Wittenberg in that super fancy truck. I'd love to get me a truck like that because you always get commented on it. Well, go ahead and give Ricky a contact over there on Facebook or on Trading Paints from D&D Race Graphics to get your fancy schmancy paint here, as well as his real-life business of Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Ricky Wittenberg's phone number there is 423-444-0454. Whether you are there in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country, he's got contacts in a massive Rolodex where he can get you in contact with a realtor that you know you'll be able to trust and get along with, because that is super important whenever you're buying or selling your house in this crazy market. And so you don't do it alone, please. It's just going to cause mayhem for everybody. Get yourself a good quality realtor today. Field coming on down into pit lane here as we go ahead and get things kind of racked back up and ready to go.
Mark missed his pit box there, had to back up. He was right there with his Limitless teammates that have all matching paints right there done by Ricky, but he missed his pit box, had to back up. That's going to cost him here.
Yeah, but if it's going to happen, this is probably a spot for it to happen. He'll make it up. He's got the control to do it.
And it is as we get everybody down off of pit lane here and get back to pacing behind that pace truck. We'll be back to green flag racing before you know it. And so while we're kind of driving around here, let's talk to someone here kind of mid-pack who we may not necessarily talk to a whole bunch. Let's talk to let's talk to the 83 from that Ramblin' About Racing team, Charlie Herkis. I gotta find their channel here. That's a great thing about having teams. You can kind of know where to find them. Problem is, there's so many teams, it's kind of hard to find them.
To have.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Let's go ahead and bring Charlie. It's the guys in the booth. Got a copy? Man, pretty good running out there. I know you want to try to maybe climb up the leaderboard here a little bit. Right now in 24th. What have you been seeing with the racing out here tonight? As it's definitely been very close just all throughout this field. It's kind of one of the first races that we've seen. A lot of two wide battles here all the way through, you know, that final like 20 lap run.
Yeah, it's been pretty good racing, I feel like. No, not the best qualifying effort, needless to say. Got caught up in something there at the beginning of the race. But trying to battle back from that, I felt like we're definitely better on the long runs there. I feel like I'm a little bit better at saving some tires as opposed to some of these other guys. But we'll just have to see. Now, past the stage break, I feel like a lot of these guys are about to push the issue a little bit harder than they have been. So we'll see what happens here. So 35 laps to go here, 36 laps to go. We'll definitely want to see what people have here. And definitely probably going to be 3 or 4 more cautions. I feel like.
Good luck on the second half of this race. Hopefully you get one of those good long green flag runs like you want. We'll talk to you later, Charlie.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
And is that RAR? I know it's Rambling About Racing, but let's just call him RAR. I like RAR.
Roar! Yeah.
One of their team members there. Like I said, he's getting amped up and ready to go for this second stage. This final stage here is the field rounds turn number 3, getting ready to head on back down and across the line, side by side we go as we go back to green flag racing here in this Vigilante Racing League race from Pocono. Couple stragglers there catching up there now out of turn number 3, coming full speed as the 33 Just Fought immediately jumps up and gets to his racing line that he wants here, trying to get way out in front like he did early on. 751 Mike Adamson's going to still hang on there. Same thing with that 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon as the fight throughout this field continues. The 64 Trevor Robertson making some moves here early as here comes that 751 Mike Adamson looking down low here in turn number 2. Is he going to make it stick on those new tires? He does, but crossover move as the 751. Oh, we got cars up in the wall coming out of 2, and that's going to cause some mayhem.
Yeah, there's a lot of
David Kelly going up the track backwards there after contact. That's probably what eventually brought it out to 49. It didn't start with him, though. Where did that start at? It started way up on the high line. That's about call that the big one, couldn't you, Adam?
Yeah, it was big. That's for sure. It was a big wreck. And everybody's talking about brakes out here, so we are having some arguing.
Oh, it looked like the
Just
29 of Greg Klein, or 92, excuse me, of Greg Klein, kind of getting all into the mix of that one here, as well as turn number 2 has not been Klein's friend. Let's go ahead, jump up to the chopper camera, rewind it a little bit here, as looks like he and the 18 make a little bit of contact, and that caused that big slow up, and everybody's just trying to check up. And as wide as this track is, man, it is just impossible to really find that extra little bit of space, especially when you're like 5 or 6 wide. Body checks being flown around. Oh man, so many cars involved in that one.
I've never seen a truck do what Klein's truck just did. They just kind of jumped up on the back of another truck kind of right there. That was a little strange.
Oh man. All right. Well, we just talked to him. Let's go ahead and take a look back here from Charlie Herkis's nose camera. He somehow got through this, so curse of the broadcaster has been broken? Question mark? As man, he saw it unfolded. He does get snagged up in it just a little bit, but for what was going on, man, that was a pretty clean through and through for him. As Austin Reeves, he got involved in it. I think the Tenna Andrew Cawthon did as well. Let's go ahead and see. Andrew Cawthon using those brakes to full advantage here to slice his way on through that wreck. Let's go ahead and take a view here from, I think, the 123 of Gallagher gets snagged up in it. He kind of did, but kind of didn't, getting snagged up in that 58 as well. Let's see here. But yeah, it was really just the 92 of Greg Klein with that hard impact. Let's go ahead and take a view from Klein's perspective here, who I think he's also used his fast repair, and so he's going to be a little either a little slow once when he does get out of the pits. Oh yeah, it just climbs that right rear of the 14. I mean, not much room for either driver to go. Just a close racing incident, and that's going to put a damper on that 92's race here tonight.
Well, the good thing about Pocono is the track is so long, and these guys are pacing at 75 miles an hour, so you can get a lot of manual damage fixed without going a lap down. So that's going to help some of these guys that have some damage that's not so major. And in the meantime, our favorite Bond villain, the 99 of Chris Zofeld, gets his lap back. So he'll be back home with his lap back.
There's something positive right there.
Speaking of positive, Albert Anderson online saying, wow, that took out half the field. Rebecca Smith is joining us as well. Thank you so much for being with us, Rebecca. And Derek Welch is stopping by to visit as well. Thank y'all for checking us out on the YouTube tonight. Got a lot of racing left. We're not even a lap 50 yet. We're doing 80 laps here at Pocono tonight. So stay tuned for the most exciting part of the race, which is going to be this final stretch. Probably about the last, 20 laps or so. It's going to be nuts.
Oh, you know for a fact it is here as we take a look at that 81 of Jonathan Osborne. Started up at the front and currently still hanging on to a top 10 spot. Did some pitting, did some other action here. Going to try to fight his way back up through this field. Of course, there you can see his signature setup where no racing wheel, no racing pedals. That's all being done by a controller connected up to a little kind of like a stem toggle kind of thing. And he's driving there with his mouth, and boy, Pocono, this is one of those tracks where I want the best of the best pedals and steering wheel and everything just so you can feel everything, because man, I don't envy Osborne here tonight, but he is doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, track. These guys are doing the best they can. All of them, Osborne included, so I'm looking forward to the end of this thing. Somebody else is going to get doored in turn 2. Just making a prediction.
As the field is stacked back up 2 by 2. Adamson had just got his nose out and around that 33 had just fought, so he's going to control the restart here. Once when they exit turn number 3. Of course, Vaught, though, he's going to be looking very racy on that outside lane, trying to pick up that win and guarantee his in here into that championship race here. Coming on up as there they go, green flag racing once again. Can kind of see the snake formation as people try to look around, see where the run's going to be, where the run's not going to be, and try to pick up all those spots that they can on these restarts here. Heading on down into turn number 1, side by side they go, still through turn number 1. That 66 running way up against the wall, and he's going to pick up some runs. Not quite like Chastain. There was still a little bit of space there between his truck and the wall, but still kind of slingshotting it right there and on around.
That's something else. I haven't seen anything like that since NASCAR 2004 came out on PC.
What's that, the wall riding?
The wall riding deal, yeah.
We're gonna talk about that one for years and years to come. Almost snagging that outside wall. Timothy Pope, I think he just barely managed to stay off of it, but the people behind him not necessarily so much. I think Jack the Ripper Dixon maybe missed a little bit of paint now on his outside of that truck as Adamson trying to squeeze him up against the wall here as they enter turns 1. As maybe because we already know there was a little bit of beef here for how one of these races finished between Pope and Dixon. Dixon winning that race, and I got a feeling these Limitless teammates, man, they'll race clean, but they will race Dixon hard.
They're definitely battling as hard as they can out here. This has been one of the best races at Pocono I think I've ever seen. All side-by-side stuff. It's not all strung out, single file, guys just putting on laps. These guys are fighting for every position out here, and it's been a blast.
That's when it gets boring at Pocono when it's spread out, nobody's near anybody. We don't have that action tonight. It's real racing out here.
Yeah, like right now you see that 66 of Todd Smith trying to catch back up to David Emig and Jeremiah Burke here as they battle inside this top 10, heading down through the field. Got the 74, Robert Jordan, in a pretty good battle right now too.
Todd looking low right here on David. It's hard to get that thing to turn. When you're on that low line, this track is so flat. You've got no banking. Oh, Emig in the wall.
Scraping that outside wall and scrubbing some speed here as everyone trying to find their way around him. Three wide for just a second there with the 7 of Kilgore and that 28 of George Rincon as those guys try to battle to get back up into this top 10 here. Jeremiah Burke fighting with Albert Anderson, another teammate here for that Limitless team.
The 10 is around. He's backwards on the track. Caution is out. Andrew Coffin's got some bad damage. He's backwards on the track. Trying to get it spun back around in turn 1. He does get it. A lot of damage on that 10 machine. Can't read the number on the left, and his front end's all dinged up. I love Florida. Really messed up.
Trying to cut it down there, and it looked like he just got snagged up a little bit in some traffic. As trying to see who that white car is. Ooh, 74.
Jordan.
74. Again, oh, just the lightest of taps there too, as the 10 was just trying to get as low as possible as Cawthon makes his way on around. And thankfully, not one of the harder impacts, and everybody was, for the most part, able to drive away relatively unscathed, but the 10 of Cawthon having a rough one here tonight, as that is not the only one he's been involved with.
Yeah, the 123 of John Gallagher, he might have a little bit of superficial damage on the front of that truck. but even the smallest amount of damage on the front of your machine can really affect your aerodynamics here, and that is pretty important here on the high-speed section of this track, which is the front stretch.
Indeed, as we have a caution here coming out, lap 53 out of 80. So, oh man, if these guys decided to come down, they still wouldn't, I don't think, make it to the end here. So the almighty question is, do you come on down and pit now, or do you come on down and pit and, you know, the next, I think they would have to come back down right around, definitely within the next 10 laps.
Yeah, I think you're right. You come down and you might be able to stretch it. You know what? The aggression's getting so good right now. Yeah, go ahead and skip it now. You're going to get another caution before you get to lap 60. I think that's kind of the target for a lot of these guys. You know, you mentioned it earlier. Your 3 sets of tires pitting at laps what? Lap count 20, 40, and 60. These guys are almost to 60. I don't know. Maybe stay out a few laps and see what happens.
You know what? You're right. This would be their final set of tires, assuming that they've followed that strategy, which I'm kind of looking through this field, I'm pretty sure is exactly what happened. But we do have some takers. Wittenberg, Jordan, Long, Paul, Tarrant, David Kelly, you got David Fight, you got David Emig, the 3 David. They should make a team all together. That would be great.
David's, yeah.
Chris Zofeld, you got Cawthon down there. He's definitely getting some damage fixed. Gallagher as well, as Klein comes on back out to the track. Really looks like we haven't had too many people disconnect, even though they have had some damage. Right now, Mayberry has been the guy in there the longest, and same thing with that 82 of Everidge. But I don't think they've called it quite a night yet, as I'm sure they're thinking maybe some attrition positions if people keep using up those fast repairs.
Well, I got an interesting thing here. Greg Klein got the lucky dog. As he's coming around for the lucky dog, he's coming into pit. Wonder what his play is here. So
He's getting damage fixed, I guarantee.
no, I think he's got a clean car. It looks like he's got a clean car.
It might be minor, but we already know that he used up that fast repair early.
He put fuel in. That's all he did.
Oh, and did he?
Well, you know what? That's a smart call, because then if he can save to the end, because we're going to be going back to green flag racing here on lap 56 out of 80. So I can use it. It's essentially he would be trying to save 2 laps of fuel here, kind of on this final run. And you know, everybody else, you can see everybody making their final dive down pit road here before we get stacked back up. People trying to maybe shove that car as full of fuel as possible. And it's gonna be tight. It's that gamble we always love to see.
Ashley Osborne joining us a little bit late tonight, but she's here saying go Chachi. Cool for the Northern John. Of course, Albert Anderson's pop saying good control out there, son, on that Dodge. Even Gryffindor joining us tonight. Saying what's up, man? Good to have you, Gryffindor. Edith Anderson saying, what's the average speed of these trucks? I don't know about average speed. I know they're hitting about 183 going into turn 1. That's about the top speed. You'll see 183 to 185 at the very most. If they're really sending it hard into the corner, you'll see 185 on the fresh set of tires. But average speed, I really don't know what the average speed would be. You can do a little math. I mean, what's their lap times here? They're running
54, 55?
So 54 seconds to go 2.5 miles. You can get an average speed doing it that way. Let me see if I can figure something out.
Well, you got to do that high math if you're gonna.
That high math is rough, son. I'm telling you.
I mean, you got the Texas education. Well, that's just a shame.
Well, while you're doing that math, Mr. English, the pace truck is going to come on down into pit lane here as we get stacked back up and ready to go racing. Timothy Pope out in front this time, and boy, that's a name you don't want to see up in the front and start to run away from you, because he will never relinquish that. But either way, side by side, down the front straightaway they go into turns number 1. You got that action still side by side here. Just fought trying to maybe get that little bit of a run that you can get here at Pocono on that outside lane. Looks like Mike Adamson's still going to be taking him side by side here. So we got a couple cars almost scraping that outside wall. Osborne and Anderson being one of them, but they're able to make it work here as Adamson gets that position away from the 33 of Jess Vaught. 64, Trevor Robertson continuing to charge up through this field, now up 27 spots in that Gorilla Glue truck, side by side with Jack the Ripper Dixon now inside this top 5.
Well, here we are. A lot of movement on the track, too wide. That's what happens when you have the caution. It gets racked back down, really wide. And I think it makes for the most fun race. Caution here and there ain't gonna hurt nobody.
That it is. As a 48 of Dixon kind of trying to do that diamond in corner number 1 there that you talk about, going to the far outside, dip it down a little bit in mid corner, and then let it drift on right back out. And it seemed to have worked for him here as he's driven away from that 64 of Robertson just a little bit. 753 Jeremiah Burke though is now hot on the case, trying to catch up some spots. Osborne now side by side with the 63, of Josh Oxendine as they head on down through turn number 2. Very treacherous here, too wide, as these guys are on those older set of tires. They're able to figure it out here in turn number 3 and kind of complete this other lap as the racing here continues. Austin Reeves and Jonah Long go side by side, hustling on down into turn number 1.
So they do a mile in 21 and a half seconds. How do I get that into miles per hour? Do a mile every 21 and a half seconds. That's amazing. Oxendine having to come to Dodge here. 7. Mile line. Lost a little bit of ground. Here comes the 7 trying to stick it in there. It's not going to be clear. Oh, and he has to get out of it to avoid wrecking himself at 7.7.
So Albert Anderson throwing the elbows out here in turn number 3, holding on to that top 10 spot. He'd love to get all his Limitless teammates here inside of that top 10. It looks like currently he's the lowest one there, as Greg Klein's starting to try to make some moves right now. It's the 2 of David Emig there behind him.
Well, I'm going to do like just some rough brain math, to give
You're a college man. You're doing your graduate degree. You ought to be telling me.
But it's not in math. I mean, geez. Listen, I'm just going to give her a number that I would say roughly where the average would be in the 160 mile an hour. You're counting corners and everything. And it's 180, 85 on the super speedway portion. I'd roughly say we're in the mid 160s, 160 is average for these trucks out here, which is super fast. That's just here tonight.
That it is, as Todd Smith in that 66 machine, man, he's had battles all over this racetrack, especially here with that 63 of Josh Oxendine. Ooh, little bit of a checkup here. Oh man, that 66, I think he's scraped that wall again, man. That outside wall, it's got magnets in it. It'll just scrape you and eat you on up as he loses spot after spot here. And he's going to now have to try to figure out a way to climb all the way back up. We still have that battle going on back here between the 92 and the 2. David Kelly there kind of waiting in the wings as well, trying to fight up through some of this traffic as Osborne and Anderson trade positions as Anderson scraped the outside wall.
They have a problem there. Slowing down a whole bunch. It's like He got passed by Chipman, Dustin Eaton, and Todd Smith.
And Jonah Long, and man, it just keeps on going as here comes Austin Reeves as well, as they're going to be side by side. Man, out of all the corners to mess up, man, exiting turn number 3 is not one because of how long that straightaway is. If you scrub any speed off of it, man, oh man, it is just rough trying to get back up to it.
That's the one you really need to concentrate on because the mistake lasts so much longer than it does with the other 2 turns.
Well, I'm having PTSD watching this turn too, so I'm gonna have to take a quick little 15. Be right back.
Zach Hyde, we got to blame him for Todd Smith hitting the wall there. As soon as he wrote, "Where's Mr. Todd?" Smith out there. And as soon as he typed it in, the 66 scrubbed the wall. So can't blame that on the person broadcast. That's the person, the chat crowd out there. But we're so glad you're with us here, Zach. Thanks for joining us here on the broadcast tonight. Hopefully that 66 Hot Wheels machine, that Toyota, he can recover out there. I don't think he's got much damage on the right side.
No, I think you're right there, Alan, as Adamson and Pope lead Jasvot here, but they're still fighting up inside this top 3. They still need to make those final pit stops here, as we now have 19 laps left to go. And it'll be interesting to see if those guys that did come on down in that last caution end up being able to make it. We'll just have to wait and see as they continue to try to save some fuel, as here comes Kelly Keel down pit lane, your first taker here. So probably one of the first ones to really start feeling like, man, it's time to pit. Coming on in.
See how many follow him down there. I guarantee you we're going to have some guys on different strategies here. We're going to have guys that can stand as much as they can until they're on fumes, waiting for a caution. And you're going to have some guys out here short pitting, just trying to stay on the lead line now. Just gas and go. You can do it here. You can gas and go and stay on the lead lap here.
As we...
Ooh, 66 sent it in there on Chachi, but made it stick. Now he's working on the project.
And Todd Smith, man, he's willing to get his hands, I don't want to say dirty, but kind of grease them up a little bit and throw that car around. And he's been doing a heck of a job here because he's got to fight back through all that traffic that he had passed once. He's now got to do it again as here comes Chachi back up on the outside. It's going to be 3 wide as we head on down into turn number 1.
There you go. That's that aero damage that's on the right front of the 66. You can see that fender split a little bit right there. That's taking some air and shoving it down into that engine compartment. He's definitely got that aero damage is hurting him on the front strip. I have to make it up somewhere.
Side by side in front of him is the 81 and the 14. We were also looking at a great battle not too long ago that had the 5 involved in it between the 34 and Mike Sabanovsky, who I'm going to call that paint scheme the Digital Cow, because from a distance I thought he had some sort of like dairy product on it. Now it's about that Sabanovsky lighting, I believe. But still a pretty good looking paint job. Back end of that 34 machine. Yeah, it kind of looks like the dairy cow on the back end of it, but
Digital camo.
digital, yeah. So it's the digital cow out of 34 of Sabanovsky, still fighting inside this top 15 where Jonah Long is. Ooh, hard racing there in turn number 2, and there goes Sabanovsky. Oh, curse of the broadcaster, just had to start talking about him. Oh man, 92 of Greg Klein, absolutely nothing he could do there. He tried to check up, just not able to do anything about it. Slid right into that 34 machine. Oh gosh. And unfortunately, I got a feeling that's probably Greg Klein's race there, because that was a hard impact.
Sabanovsky's going to have a hard time getting it all the way around here to the pit lane. He's smoking like crazy.
And the 6 of Austin Reeves just sent it up the inside of that 34 machine. It's 92 of Klein absolutely just slaughter knocks him into next Tuesday, sends him onto his roof. Thankfully, he's able to eventually stick the landing here. But let's go ahead and take a view from that 92 up on the roof. And you just listen to his car as he tries to check up for this. He sees the car spinning. He is off the throttle and trying to brake, but on turn 2 exit, you got to be careful of what you do because it'll just upset the car, or truck, I should say. And man, he did his damnedest to try to get off of him there, but just couldn't.
Couldn't decide to go high or low. He occupied the entire middle of the track, so.
And he was committed, and a little bit of smoke that you saw was enough to obscure about half of the truck. So
Yeah, I'd like to look inside the cockpit.
That's a split second decision you got to make, and once you choose your entry into 2, you're kind of stuck with it. So I think he was stuck either way. He was going to get him anyhow.
Yeah, if you look inside the cockpit of Klein's view, I mean, you can tell it's totally different than having that chopper view or something view. It's tough to make a quick decision.
And I still think, Adam, if he would have went full lock on steering wheel, left or right, he still would have hit him, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's just the nature of, once you choose your entry on 2, you're stuck with it. It's going to be what it's going to be. Still be smacked. Well, Astros, just like that, they're up by 5. So.
Yeah, we're not even using the can tonight, the trash can. That's good. Back to,
Are you going to go back to that, are you? Or the buzzer, the bat buzzer?
That was fake. The buzzer was fake. I think the trash can thing was probably real, but hey, everybody was cheating some way, so they're just winning. Well, they can't. They're terrible.
They need to cheat, but oh, what do you guys think is coming down the stretch here? We're going to restart with about 11 to go. This is going to be fun, boys.
I'm gonna guess at least. I'm gonna guess one more caution. My guess.
Maybe we'll just have to wait and see here as the field comes on down, does a whole bunch of pit stops and everything that they can do as they pace around behind this pace truck here. Is got Cody Tarrant and Chris Zofeld hanging on out in front here, your favorite Bond villain in that 99. Because of that, that's going to jump those guys up plus 30 spots, but they are also going to be running on much older tires here. So we're going to have to kind of watch this kind of pit stop as Jonathan Osborne blistering quick pit time there, probably only taking 2 tires. Jess Vaught out there as well, still maintaining a top 5 spot right now, but as these guys get stacked back up and ready to go, it'll be 12 laps remaining here from Pocono when it goes back to green flag racing.
I don't know, guys. Predictions? Who's your dark horse guy? Who's going to pound his way through this top 6 rate trucks and maybe pull off a win? We've had 5 different winners so far in 5 races. Think we'll see a 6th tonight? And who's your guy? I want to hear some names being thrown out.
I mean, I would never count out Bott, Adamson, or Pope. But, I mean, I don't want to pick one, because if I pick one, and if something bad happens to them, then they're going to hate me, Well, I just like to watch the fights. I don't want to be in the fight.
Well, too bad. Your pay will be docked if you don't pick one.
Okay, I'll pick 33 just fine.
I think Neil has enough fuel, and if he stays clean and stays on the inside line here and is able to survive the restart, I think the 01 of Kelly Kill's got a good shot at it. He's just got to watch that fuel. He's a few laps behind on gas.
I'm going to be kind of going even further back than you here. I'm going to take a look here at that 28 of George Rincon, currently riding around in 12th. He's one that can easily sneak up through this field, and I think he's been hiding a little bit of something extra here that we haven't seen quite yet. So be on the lookout here for that 28 of George Rincon coming on through this field. As a pace car comes diving off down into pit lane. Green flag racing here, closing in on the final few laps as the 25 of Cody Tarrant gets a good jump there on the 99. Kelly Keel's going to try to shuffle him on around him here, but we're going to be 3 wide, just a massive mob of traffic heading down here side by side. For the lead is that 25 and that 01. 01 with the fresher tires, though. He's going to get the run through turn number 1. Here comes that 33 of Jess Vaught. No, Albert Anderson.
Yellows out. He hit the inside wall at a ton. I can't believe that thing's still running.
Oh, those trucks are tough. Give them that.
Albert Anderson. Oh no, I know we don't have, favorites or anything like that, but I know he's a fan favorite definitely out here. And let's just kind of see what happened here. Oh, the 66 just very slow coming off of turn number 1, and Anderson getting snagged up into him there.
What? I was watching the 63 way up high. He was way in the marbles, and I was holding my breath thinking we might see something happen there, but it ended up being Anderson getting right into the back of the 66 there. He just had nowhere to go. He's bouncing off like a pinball. Mercy.
Yeah, that indeed.
Dangerous right there. Wow.
And it's just kind of speaking of Albert Anderson, we haven't seen him make any mistakes here tonight. And again, that really wasn't his mistake. He just had nowhere to go. Slow traffic in front of him, people on his outside and getting snagged up in that one. So thankfully, I believe he still has his fast repair. He'll be able to get right back on out here. But man, a great race being had by that 747 machine, hanging around inside that top 10 just about all race long.
Yeah, he's limping it in right now. Hoping he can get into the pit stop. He really didn't have anything. There was everything. Bad spot. You got all that traffic in there. It's like you're driving to Waco. You're fixing to head over to a Papa Joe's to shoot some dice. And then somebody cuts you off and pulls out like a 22, and then you got to pull out something bigger. That's what you do. A little dangerous.
Is that what you do in Waco?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, especially when you're headed to Papa Joe's for a dice game and some beer. Hopefully Albert gets up there back in the track.
They can make a bypass that goes from Bellevue to Gatesville. Well, I don't have to drive through.
Well, they got, 281?
281 is a long, straight road. That's not a bypass. Unless
No.
Do they have a bypass?
No, it's a slow mover.
Anyway.
There's some views out there, but yeah, you're pretty much.
Y'all gonna learn some Texas geography on here, whether you want to or not, I guess.
Yeah.
As these guys get set back up, we're gonna have a shootout here. Who's getting their lap back there? Is that the 20?
I believe that's the 20 getting his
Johnson.
lap back here. But while we are still pacing single file right now, let's talk to one of these drivers kind of back here. It's going to be the 74, Robert Jordan. Hey, Robert, it's the guys in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I got it.
Hey, man, it's just outside of that top 20 right now. But, man, we've seen that 74 machine move its way on up there once or twice. Coming down to it, though, going to be 8 laps to go when this thing goes back to green flag racing. What have you seen from the intensity here after that last caution just a few laps ago to now this one? It definitely seemed everything ramped on up.
Yes, it did. A lot of people are, going down low, dive bombing, and you can't, the outside line, you can't do anything about it. You just got to take it and find your line.
Well, good luck tonight. Hopefully you keep that Chevrolet a little bit clean. We see you got a little bit of front end damage. Watch those temperature gauges, buddy, and hopefully you get a good finish tonight.
Will do. Thanks for the broadcast.
Man, Everybody's got some action. And I know he's been involved in a couple things. So. Jonathan Osborne sat here on the radio just talking smack, straight smack.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
He's got to drive with the same mouth he talks smack with, so he should get bonus points in the SmackDown arena.
We've got some good ones right now. I mean, too bad y'all can't hear the driver's commentary, but probably best y'all don't, because sometimes it gets a little heated.
Gets a little racy, yeah.
We get stacked back up here, up at the front. 0-1, Kelly Keel with his teammate in Vigilante Force side by side. You got the 33 of Just Fought. They're going to be restarting in second. Cody Tarrant still hanging around up there, up inside this top three. Jeremiah Burke, Mike Adamson, Jonathan Osborne all up there, as well as Timothy Pope, Chris Sofeld. He's been kind of sliding on back, though. I think those older tires are definitely hurting him here. So be on the lookout for that. 64 Trevor Robertson as well inside this top 10. Josh Oxendine. So we definitely have a stacked field. And boys, I got a feeling we're going to see another first-time winner here this season picking up that W.
I told you, Kelly Keel. I believe this thing. I told you, boys.
I got 33. Just fun.
I feel a bet coming along for our trip here.
Bet for a cold one right here.
All right. How about a whiskey drink? I'll bet you a whiskey drink my guy beats your guy.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so you had it here in front of almost 30 people watching out here. It's been officialized as the pace truck is going to make his way on down into pit road. There he goes, side by side, they run. Green flag is out, 9 laps left remain, now 8 as they come down and across the line, sending it on down into turn number 1. Vaught getting a better restart there than his teammate of Kelly Keel, so he's going to jump on down to that bottom lane, leaving that outside open for Jeremiah Burke, trying to make something happen here. He's going to try to get that run that outside lane can, just not going to be enough to kind of close up that gap as we got people beating and banging behind him here. Got that 66 of Cody Tarrant going on down to the apron to avoid some of that.
Yeah, he had a little checkup there or something, wasn't there? Turn around.
We did have some checkups, especially on the outside lane, but the guy's able to figure it out. Get on.
81.
Osborne, we got a flip truck there as well. Oh, goodness gracious.
74 Robert Jordan totaled out there.
Oh, of course, we had to talk to him. Curse of the broadcaster strikes again.
It's about the 4th time tonight. We just need to stop saying people's names, because every time we say a name, it turned into
Man, that pumpkin,
a scrapyard queen.
It strikes midnight on those pumpkins, and boy, oh boy. But yeah, this started up here. Good hard racing. Oh, the 01 and 753 get into it, and the 81 Osborne just nowhere to go. Oh no, my pick gets involved in it as well. I believe that was George Rincon getting snagged up here. Let's go ahead and head on up to our chopper camera to really see what happened. Quarter speed this one as the 21 goes flying up into the catch fence. Thankfully, he's not going to be mowing any pastures here in the farmland of Pennsylvania. The 7 of Kilgore gets snagged up into it. The 48 gets snagged up into it. 81, Chris Sofeld. Oh, man, just so many people just absolutely going for a ride. The 66 gets snagged up into it. Ricky Wittenberg, who is having a solid night here tonight as well. David Emig, David Kelly, Russ Endicott, as all mayhem breaks loose here. Oh, goodness gracious. Albert Anderson, he was still down there on, looked like he was down there on pit road. But golly, man, that just about dang near got everybody.
Well, it started with the 753 and the 01, and they kept going, and then they had a secondary crash in turn 3.
All right, so
Jack Dixon saying the 48 was so close to making it through the cockpit view was insane. So many guys getting
Kelly Keel getting some contact there as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here from that perspective of the 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon as it all just breaks loose in front of him here. Man, we were talking a matter of inches there from getting cleared out from that, and of course, man, once when it starts going on around, it just goes on around.
Yeah, these trucks are forgiving, but when you get that sideways, you can't save it. You just can't.
Well, not at that kind of speed. I mean, this thing is a super speedway. It's
It
fast all the way
basically
around
is.
it. And especially, it's fast everywhere, even in the flat spot of turn 3. Still catch a lot of speed, so that's why you see these high intensity wrecks, things breaking, lots of banging. But
A lot of meatball flags on that one there, Adam. Todd Smith, Jonathan Osborne, manually disconnected. Got Mike the Spy, David Kelly, Ricky Whitberg, Russell Endicott, Greg Klein, Albert Anderson all sitting in the pits right now getting worked on. Hoping to return out there.
well, I'm not going to say anything, except that there's a whiskey drink sitting in the front of this race.
I'm telling you, and it ought to be at least a Woodford Reserve or something equivalent.
Well, you didn't put any parameters on it, did we?
Well, hey, look, you know, I'm
Look,
not gonna
yeah.
give you, I'm not gonna buy you an Old Crow or something.
Happy Van Winkle or something.
George Dickel, I don't know, something.
I won't break the bank on you, but if it holds out, just what has kind of, he's done a
Guess
heck
has
of a
to
job.
win, right?
Oh well, I don't know. He's better than the Yells picks, but he's gonna have some work because look what's behind him. Look what's behind him. It's tough.
You ain't kidding. It's gonna be Timothy Pope, Josh Oxendine, Trevor Robertson, Jonah Long, Kelly Keel. He's still up in there. Don't know if that damage is gonna slow him down here, but he's still up in there inside that top 5. You got the David Fight, Chris Zofeld with those old tires, the 58 of Robert Shipman, the 10 of Andrew Cawthon, all hungry here as we're going to go back to green flag racing now with 4 laps left remaining. And because I was taking notes because I'm not a professional bookie, the exact wordage on that little wager was my guy will finish in front of your guy. So it doesn't mean that person has to win.
I'm screwed. Come on, Kelly.
I like this one. Oh, Jess, thank you. If you were closer, I'd send you a little shot of booze. Ooh, what happened there?
Got a truck in the wall. Just
That's Timothy Pope.
was that Tim?
Yeah, it's
Oh no.
a disconnect.
He might have a wheel problem or something.
Oh,
That's
no.
tragic.
He's just parked up against that outside wall there. But we'll have to see what happens here. But very strange things happening here tonight. A couple nights after Halloween, so maybe some little gremlins got down there into Timothy Pope's pit crew there. Unfortunately, some things happening, so that's going to give right now Trevor Robertson that spot up here, so he's going to move up a row. Up here comes Tim back here.
He's coming.
Yeah, they may retry to get this one re-racked.
Oh, no, he hit the wall
He
again.
hit the wall. I think he was trying to check up so he didn't, Ricky Bobby it around everybody as they're coming at him full speed, but as clean as they can, as behind him more wrecks happening, and that's going to bring out the yellow flag. So thankfully for Tim, oh man, he got lucky there.
Chandler Paul, the 72 machine driver, coming over the radio apologizing. What happened there, man?
That had the 753 of Jeremiah Burke inside of it as well. They were kind of 3 wide. Jeremiah Burke going down, trying to avoid some traffic going on his outside, and he gets pit maneuvered by the 48.
There's a lot of weird stuff happening.
Actually, the 48, I think, was the one that was coming up.
Well, that's hard to tell there. Golly. They were 3 wide.
Well, and Pope coming on the outside because of his little issue. might have thrown some guys off. It looked like Ross Chastain going on the outside wall and freaked out or something. I don't know.
Indeed, I'm trying to scroll through my list of numbers here because you said I believe you said that 72 was apologizing for something.
Yeah, Chan the man.
But 753.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah, I didn't see anything there from 72. He actually basically had no one around him there.
It may have been an after effect.
753 and the 48. Still try that. Yeah, that's where you're gonna.
Oh yeah, no, I know
So
that's what
Max-
the.
He's been
I know what
playing
that one was.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, I'm watching my own screen. I'm not watching your fancy screen there, Brown. I don't know where else anything would have happened though on the track.
Yeah, I didn't see anything here. We're gonna go back to green flag racing here with a green-white checker finish from Pocono.
The only attempt that's available
Ooh.
is.
All right.
Hey, double down, anybody? We got a bookie on. Well, apparently, we got a bookie on board. So, what can we do? Nah, I'll stay with what I got.
Myself enough, yeah.
I'll stay
Put it
with
while
what
I'm
I got.
ahead or behind.
Well,
Just
how about
could lose it into turn one. We could
What?
see him just.
I don't think so. But
As-
Brown, do you think we're gonna have a caution here? Or you think they're gonna be able to be clean?
I think they're gonna be clean here. These guys, they've proven they can race clean here for an extended amount of time. Timothy Pope, I don't know if he's getting a wave around the pace car here or what, but something's definitely going wrong as he whips it around, and he's gonna have to try to get back up to where the field is here, because otherwise things are gonna get messed up here again.
Yeah, something's weird here. I don't know what's going on with the scoring.
Too many
Pope's
cars.
parking it. Pope's parking it on the apron by the start-finish line.
I think he's gonna wait.
Yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do here. Is the field makes his way on around. I think iRacing might have had a scoring issue there with Pope on that last restart, and so with the caution coming out, I think he ended up getting either a lucky dog or something, and it didn't like what was going on there, so he's gonna park. While we are pacing here, I wanted to maybe talk to another driver, but I don't want to talk to another driver and watch them wreck again.
Yeah, we hadn't had much luck with these guys. Right.
You can't do bad with Russ Kilton. I mean,
Oh yeah, you can. He could helicopter out of the stadium.
that's true.
I wouldn't know who to talk to. That's y'all's choice. I'm not.
Yeah, well, they're getting stacked up side by side here anyway, so let's let these guys focus in, because green-white checkers are absolutely insane. For those of you watching that aren't 100% sure what a green-white checker finish is, the next time these guys come in across the line, the flagman will throw the green flag as we start racing. They will then complete one lap. If they complete that one lap with no incidents or what have you, they will take the white flag. When that white flag waves, woo, boys, just let them all loose, because you're racing to the end. No more cautions. Whoever crosses the line first at the end of that one will be your race winner here tonight.
And at that point, just ignore all the wrecks. Finish somehow. Get your truck across the finish line. You're not going to get saved by a yellow once they take the white flag. You just got to get there.
And that goes for it. That goes for if you get involved in one of those wrecks. Get it straightened out as quickly as you can. It don't matter if you only have 2 horsepower left in that engine. If you can limp that thing all the way down and around, you can finish up a good chunk of spots, even though you maybe gotten a little beaten, battered, and bruised here. Either way, we're going to have Jess Vaught in the 33 with the 63. Josh Oxendine getting this one started. You got Trevor Robertson starting behind him here, the 63. So those guys are teammates. They're going to be trying to work together here a little bit. As Pope and Vaught, those two have history of good, hard racing together. And, of course, they have been clean to say the least, as we go back to green flags here. Green flag racing in this green-white checker. Here we go, sending it on down to turn number 1, side by side. Just fought out in front. Timothy Pope in tow. He's side by side with Oxendine here. That low line maybe getting a little bit better of a run. 5 of Jonah Long. He's been kind of sitting in the back for most of this race. He's now up here now, trying to battle for position. The 33 trying to block the draft from the 63, not letting him pick up any run as they head on down to turn number 2. It's going to be side by side here with Timothy Pope and Oxendine. Oxendine now letting loose a little bit here as a caution comes out.
That'll freeze the field. I think it's over. We only had one attempt at a green-white checker here available. I think as soon as that caution flag come out, I think it froze the field, did it not?
I believe so. So let's see what that caution was for. Oh, the 25 getting turned around. I believe that was a 751 getting up into him there. Oh, we did have a disconnect there, I think, from incident points. Yeah, there goes the white flag as they come back across the line. So I believe that field is going to be frozen. So as they pace behind the pace truck here on this final lap, Jess Vaught, although we've talked to him a bunch, he has not won a race yet this season up until tonight. Battling hard here. He led quite a few laps as well, especially in that kind of long middle stretch that we had. He is going to walk away a race winner and punches his ticket and is secure now in those playoffs.
It's like Johnson in the 20 and the 76 of Ottinger were both disqualified due to incident points. That was a couple of your guys that disconnected there. It was a possibility.
Indeed. I'm just kind of looking through my scoreboard here, making sure I get the right number of drivers. Looks like 20... Ooh, it's hard to tell who's actually still running and who's not here. Looks like 22 or 3 drivers are actually still driving out there on the racetrack. Let's go ahead and get this all set up. Alright, so with that, Jess Vaught picking up the race win, crossing the line here. Kind of anticlimactic finish, but hey, sometimes that just how's it goes here at Pocono Raceway. Let's go ahead and try to decide who the lucky random draw driver of the day is going to be here. So let us find that one out. And that's going to be the person who finished in 16th. I believe Jack the Ripper Dixon was running up there. He was. So
that's what I got.
Jack the Ripper Dixon, your lucky dog driver of the day.
Lovely. Oh, Deion Jones he's having problems all night. I've been listening to him on the radio. Rough night for Deion. I like his style, though. I like number 4. Oh, man.
Even if you get a penalty, a little pass through or something, sometimes some stuff needs to be said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. Say what you need to say. He's not wrong.
Now, you know what? For a lot of these guys, it was a rough night. I know some of them weren't necessarily all involved in a big incident to start with, but we all know just scraping that outside wall, scrubbing that aero damage there, man, it does absolute havoc, and you have to use that fast repair, which some of these, that's exactly what happened to some of these guys. They had to use that fast repair early, and then they got involved in the big one, or one of the few big ones that we saw here that essentially took out the full field twice, and they just couldn't do anything about it. We saw a lot of good racers out here getting involved in that, like 753 Jeremiah Burke. Saw that with Greg Klein in the 92 getting involved in that. Albert Anderson getting involved in that as well. He had a fantastic race, really only made that, like, I can't even call it on him, just that one mistake, and he ends up dropping down a ton of spots. Mike Sobanovsky, Dave Hot Rod Mayberry got infected by a couple of those. Ricky Wittenberg as well. So everybody having a problem here tonight. And that's just Pocono, man. It's called the Tricky Triangle for a reason.
You can tell Jess Vault practiced that burnout a little bit. You see how he was running down the front stretch, dragging the brake?
He did drag the brake a little bit. He's still doing it, looking pretty good. But the field is interesting because a lot of guys move tons of spots to get in the top 10. It's almost like the field flip-flopped from the beginning of the race. A lot of it. David Fight up 21. We didn't even talk much about Fight in that number 1 truck. Zofield, 99. He's up 28 spots. Trevor Robertson up 26.
Oh, man.
That's some hard driving right there.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, on the flip side of it, Todd Smith's down 24. Jonathan Osborne's down 29. So kind of see where this race kind of ended up. A little flip-flop.
Yeah, that indeed, as we I'm sorry, I was looking at one of the emojis, seeing who put it up there. That was kind of funny, but let's talk to one of these, some of these drivers here for these interviews, starting with tonight's 3rd place finisher. It's gonna be the leader of that Oxen Army. It's the 63 of Oxendine, picking up 3rd place finish here tonight. Josh, I know kind of anticlimactic ending here. You were in it, trying to fight for the race win. You were in a pretty good spot here for that final green-white checker, but man, just this race was absolutely brutal to some of these guys here tonight.
Yeah, if the second half would have went as good as the first half, probably would have had something for them. I wish I would have just went ahead and took tires and got up in the field earlier. We run that whole first 40 laps on one set of tires. That's why we kind of fell off. At the end of that run, if I'd known this now, I could have been top 5 a lot sooner, or at least 6 or something.
Well, talk to us about next week, man. We'd like to know what you think about Las Vegas. They say what happens there stays there, but man, we see great racing out of that track. How do you feel about it?
One of my better tracks. I'm ready to go there. I wish the night was Vegas, honestly. I do not like Pocono at all, so to get out of here in the top 10, I was satisfied. Top 3, well, I'm ecstatic.
Man, awesome job. Little insight into your strategy. I didn't know you ran those tires that hard. But
yeah,
it's a tough track, right?
Well, yeah, I run the high side in turn 1 and tried to be easy on the best I could, but I still finished that first stage with about 62 on the right front. I just wish I known what I know now, but if I knew on that, hell, I could have won a few more.
Take some notes, put it in your notepad for the next couple of seasons, wherever you're racing. Great job tonight. You got any shout outs?
Yeah, I'd like to wish my father a happy 81st birthday. Today his birthday, so that's pretty cool.
Right.
The Garza Motorsports guys being on the truck this season, I spot for them over there and help a bunch of them guys out. They're pretty good to me. Obviously, D&D Race Graphics, Ricky Wittenberg. He does, as you can tell by the rest of the trucks in the field, a bunch of them jam up paint jobs. And MBI TV, he helps me out pretty good on dirt. So, I'm just glad to be here. Appreciate what y'all doing, putting on.
Awesome, man. It was happy to have you out here tonight and glad to talk to you here now that you're kind of definitely making a good comeback. Strong finish here tonight in 3rd place. Good job there, Josh, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
All right. Y'all going to see some gambling next week, so bring your money.
Right. I got it. Let's do it.
As we move up this leaderboard, talk to a man who's not too accustomed to finishing in 2nd, but still a heck of a job done. It's going to be that 728 of Mr. Timothy Pope. Tim, a weird ending here to Pocono, to say the least. Kind of walk us through what happened there on that second to last caution and restart, where you kind of stop there on the outside and have to catch back up to the field, but then able to get that caution to figure things out here again, and then having a green-white checker that unfortunately finished here under yellow.
Yeah, my wheel disconnected there. I moved something on my steering wheel and it just lost all power for some reason. Then I turned it back on, and it came back on. So then I had to pull over after that caution to get my force feedback back on. But yeah, I didn't think I was going to finish that close to the front until they wrecked there, and then they all had to. Two teammates got involved, and they had the pit for their damage repair. So it put me in second, and was able to hold on there.
Kind of one of them situations where, tech support asks you, did you try turning it off and turn it back on? But yeah, man, it's frustrating when technical difficulties kind of put you in a bad spot. But still had a pretty strong run tonight. Next week's Vegas. Tim, how you feel about Vegas? We know you're pretty good, pretty much wherever you go. Those 1.5 miles you're pretty strong at as well. How you feeling about next week?
Very good. I love that place. I'm going to try to win it.
Oh, look, he
There you
never
go.
says that, and he never says that either. So we're going to be looking for you. But the technical difficulties are kind of like real racing, throwing a toe link or whatever they do now in those dang NASCARs. But it happens. You overcame it. Good job, man. Second place. That's a great finish for what you had to deal with there at the end. You have anybody you want to thank? Shout outs?
Yep, Limitless Motorsports, and didn't quite have the run we hoping for tonight, but shout out to them guys, you guys for the broadcast, and Vigilante for putting this series on.
Well, thanks for taking the time, Tim. Good finish here once again, finishing in second. Congratulations on that, and we look forward to seeing what you guys can do over there at Vegas.
Thank you.
All right, and so with that, we will talk to our random draw winner of the day here before we talk to tonight's race winner, and that's going to be the 48, the Canadian up north, the Ripper, Jack Dixon, coming home in 16th. Jack, kind of a good night at the start, an okay night there in the middle, and just a rough night there at the end, but still almost inside that top 15 here, but a heck of a job done by that 48 team here.
Yeah, it started off good, and I just wish we didn't spin the tires coming off pit road to lose 10 spots, but I feel bad for, what's his name, Berg, spun him, but coming to the line, I know you're supposed to hold your line, but coming up to the start-finish line, instead of going 3 wide, I expect him to check up because everybody else checked up, and didn't know he was still there, and when I came up a little bit, just took him out. So I apologize for that, but at the end of the day, we're just racing hard for a win, and he got the short end of the stick.
Well, we see a lot of drivers tonight. Everybody's good in a different part of the track. Everybody's got their favorite turn. Everybody's got their favorite spot on the track to pass. Where was your sweet spot tonight? We saw a couple guys in particular. Turn 3 was kind of their bag, and that's kind of how I felt when I raced here. Where were you good at? What was your favorite turn here?
Yeah, I thought I was decent in turn 1. I would change it up, go to the bottom, and then go high, but I found if I stayed on the very high side coming out of turn 1, I'd get so much momentum to catch everyone, especially on restarts, but I would just blow it in the tunnel turn, and then I seem to figure out turn 3, but everyone's got the draft, so it's hard to say where you're good at. If you just suck up to the guy behind you, you're right to his bumper. So everybody seemed to drive all right. It just didn't end up going our way.
Well, what are you thinking about next week there in Vegas, and how many loonies are you going to have to bring to bet down there? What's the ratio loony to US dollar in Vegas?
Oh man, I might have to bring a few million in loonies, I guess. But I don't know what's a torn up truck worth, I guess, because I think I owe Burke some loonies.
Hey, you got some money tonight, though, to go home with. We'll see you next week. Anybody you want to thank?
Actually, with that $5, I'd like to thank everybody that pays for the league, and I'd like to throw a lap sponsor. If I could use that $5, and whoever finishes 7th next week, I'd like them to receive that $5. It's a cool thing that Jess and Laurie do, and I'd like to see it go around to some guys that don't always get paid. And I know I earned my well share this year, so it'd be nice to see some guys that don't get it, get paid out.
Awesome, man. Well, Again, solid, okay finish there for the 48 here. Good job here tonight, buddy. We look forward to seeing you at Vegas. Of course, you're already locked into the championship, so, race wins, not necessarily a necessity for you right now, but still, yeah, I know drivers. They always want to win. It's ingrained in us. It's what we want to do. That's the only reason why we race, but still, we will see you out here once again, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, fellas.
As we head on up for the guy, all season long, he's been waiting for this moment. No longer the bridesmaid, securing his championship playoff spot here right now. Mr. Jess Vaught picking up the race win here tonight. And Jess, I'll tell you, that truck looked very strong from the get-go. And we've been talking to a lot of these guys, and a lot of them had up and down nights, having some issues, but really, you were one of the only guys out there that didn't have an issue. Your biggest only issue was, you were racing hard up at the front, coming on down to a green-white checker finish here, and unfortunately finishing on a yellow, but still, hey man, a win's a win.
No, yeah, man, I'll take it. I think I had them plenty cleared there. I wasn't worried about finishing out that last lap, and I felt strong all night. I felt strong out of the gate. The only slight issue I had was, racing with Tim there. In the second half, I touched the wall coming out of 3. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I didn't get incidents off of it, and it's kind of curious how that was. I got a small crinkle, so I just tucked in behind Tim or rode for a while to make sure I could, keep the speed up and stay right with him. Then it came down to, okay, what are we pitting? Am I going to try to jump on? I don't know if you guys noticed, I was pitting right when that yellow came out with about 15 to go. And I was like, okay, fine. Now we'll go throw on some new shoes, and we're just going to get after it and see what happens. But, yeah, I'm happy, man. Finally, I'm not happy with second place. And the last 2 weeks have been frustrating for me, to say the least.
Well, about damn time, and great finish tonight, even though you did cost me a whiskey drink tonight on a bet. But
I got to watch tonight. This, find out what that was.
Yeah, me and Turner had a little bet going, but, man, you did a great job out there. You guys run, a bang-up league here. It's a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to broadcast. So many different winners. I never would have expected, I guess I should. I mean, y'all have so many talented drivers that would have this many different winners this deep into the season. But looking into the playoffs, who are the guys you're worried about? I mean, there's some guys that finish up with you up near the top every week, but look here, you got Jonah Long almost breaking into the top 3. Josh Oxendine's right there with you and Pope. Trevor Robertson's showing strong. Even Chris Zofeld coming back from a lap down to finish 7th. That's just a few names of guys that, this was kind of an upside down race. We saw a lot of guys that normally are mid-pack guys. They're right up there with y'all.
Yeah, this race it's interesting, yeah, because we had some guys up towards the front you don't see as often, but that's the thing. These guys, they're super talented. You can't give them a window. They're going to be right up in there and challenging you for that win. And just looking at this season, you're right, we don't even have a repeat winner yet. And what are we, 6 races in? Yeah, 6 races in. And so, yeah, I'm always concerned about Tim. You know that. Jeremiah, absolutely. But really, those guys, Jack Dixon, Jonathan Osborne, David Emick's a newcomer. He's already got a win. I mean, so it is, I think, a testament to the dedication these guys put in to prepare for these races. And I know sometimes we walk out of these events and they're not happy with each other, but we usually settle that down by the next one and we carry on and with respect. And I enjoy racing with these guys. I just want to make sure I made the show this year. You know what I'm saying? And I think this format has lend itself to maybe that why you're seeing so many different winners. Since we had at least one stage caution in there, and that kind of throws a lot more strategy into the mix, and at least jumbles us up one more time if it were to run green.
Yeah, I love the one restart there where you have everybody can figure out their strategy and kind of have if they want to change their way of attacking the race. I think that's a great what y'all implemented there. But awesome track, awesome race tonight. You won me a whiskey drink because I picked you as the dark horse there. So I appreciate that. But man, Vegas next week. What are you thinking about that?
I enjoy Vegas, but a lot of these guys are very, very good at mile and a half, and Tim, not the least of which, is those guys really got this places figured out. But I think I should run well there. Pressure's off though. So got to win in there, so I'm happy about that.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the race win here tonight, Jess, locking that championship run that we're only 6 weeks away from. Cannot wait for that thing to start up. Before we let you go, got any shout outs or anything like that?
Yeah, man. As always, shout out to my wife Lori, who does all the work for this league. I've completely removed myself, and I just drive now. So thanks to her for doing all that. And then, hey, my daughter Sarah's she's back in the same state with me, and she was cheering me on tonight. So I really appreciate her providing that support. To the guys in the league, great racing, great racers, and my team as always for Vigilante Force, and you guys for the broadcast. Really appreciate you.
Awesome, Jess. Well, thanks for taking the time talking to us here, buddy. We look forward to the next week of racing here at Las Vegas. And, man, this season's it's halfway done, but it's still heating up, and we cannot wait to see what else is coming.
You bet, man. You guys take care.
All right, and so with that brings tonight's stuff to a close. And, boys, if you told me, a few hours before this thing was going live that we were going to see 2 wide racing, almost 3 wide racing pretty much the entire time around this racetrack, I'd be calling you a liar.
I was pleasantly surprised. And guess what? They were able to do it without making it like a complete caution fest. Yeah, we had several wrecks and we had a couple of big ones, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like a 20 caution race or something crazy. These guys were actually able to get some good green flag racing in. We saw some green flag pit stops as well. So, yeah, man, all the way around, I'm definitely pleased with this race for sure.
Yeah, great race. There was a little aggression. They'll settle it down. All that talking on the radio, that's just heat of the moment stuff. Squared away. Get ready for Vegas.
Yes, indeed. Well, before these haulers leave to head out west, let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver finished here tonight. Starting us off with that 33 of Jess Vaught, picking up the race win here tonight. So we are 6 for 6 of first-time winners here this season, with the 728 of Timothy Pope just coming up a little shy here as they came across the line. You got him finishing there second. 63, Josh Oxendine launching up that leaderboard, finishing in third, having a great night. Same thing with that 5 of Jonah Long. We saw him. He wasn't making a whole lot of noise during the race. He was trying to make some passes, just wasn't quite happening for him. But he came alive right when it mattered the most, and he's able to walk away with a top 5 fourth place finish. Same thing with that 64, Trevor Robertson. We saw that Gorilla Glue Machine fight and battle its way up through this crowd, up 26 spots, but not your hard charger of the day, finishing in that top 5 position. So good job, Trevor. Same thing with that 01 of Kelly Keel. A solid race here tonight for that 01 machine, finishing in 6th, with the hard charger of the day award going to the 7th place finisher, the 99, Chris Zofeld, finishing up 28 spots, dang near 30. Great job there, Chris, with some bold strategy calls there that definitely got him up there in some good positions, finishing in 7th. The 1 of David Fight having a solid night as well, up 21 spots to finish there in 8th. Good job there. The 6 of Austin Reeves finishes right where he started there in 9th, so a pretty solid night for him, with the 58 of Robert Chipman rounding out tonight's top 10.
14 of Dustin Eaton will finish right there in 11th place. Mike Adamson slipped a few spots tonight, started in 4th. He'll finish in 12th, still a solid finish. The 10 of Andrew Coffin, we saw him backwards wrecked on the track, but he'll still finish on the lead lap in 13th place. 14th will go to Chan the Man. Chandler following that 72 machine. 7 of Russ Kilgore started way back in the back. We thought he might make a top 5 run here tonight, but he'll lock up a top 15. He'll finish in 15th place. Our lucky draw driver tonight, Jack Dixon, he'll finish in 16th place. 17th will be the 2 of David Emig. Who we got here? Cody Tarrant in the 25 finishes 18th. The last truck on the lead lap, The 28 of George McCone finishes 1 lap down in 19th place. 20th will be Jeremiah Burke in the 753. The 76 of Jeff Ottinger hit that incident limit. He'll finish 2 laps down in 21st. 22nd will be Jeffrey Johnson in the 20 machine. The 1-2-3 of John Gallagher finishes 5 laps down in 23rd place. 24th is the 74 of Robert Jordan. A little bit of curse of the broadcaster there tonight for him as well. The 4 of Deion Jones. Keying up on the radio quite a bit tonight. Very vocal tonight. He'll finish in 25th place. 26th will be the 66 of Todd Smith. 27th will be the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. Hope you get better soon, buddy, and thanks for all you do for this league. The 49 of David Kelly will finish 28th. 29th will be Jonathan Osborne. He'll finish 10 laps down after starting on the pole tonight. Sorry to see that there, Chachi, but hey, man, it is what it is. This is racing, buddy. The 57 of Russ Endicott, also 10 laps down. He'll round out your top 30.
Yeah, number 18, Andrew Players, ended up 31st. 747, America's driver, Albert Anderson, 32nd. 83, Charlie Herkus, 33rd. 34, Mike Dobanovsky, 34th. 92, Greg Klein, rough night, 35th. Same with the 82, Michael Everidge, ended up 36. 29, Dave the Mouth Mayberry, 37th. And rounding it out, real rough night, we talked to him on the chat a little bit. 68 of Dustin Wade in 38th.
And that rounds out your field here from Pocono. Well, the haulers are officially leaving and heading out of Pennsylvania on their way to Las Vegas. So we thank you all for tuning in and watching. You guys are 100% of the reason why we do this and having so much fun doing it. Thank you guys so much for all that great support. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you get alerted whenever we go live, because we're going to be live 5 nights a week, as long as we got racing those 5 nights a week. So we be on the lookout for that and get notified. And if you ever like these videos, man, just hit that like button for us, because it just helps us spread out and allow other people to get us on their YouTube feed and be like, hey, you might like this content. And the more and more people we get in here, man, the more and more fun we're gonna have. So thank you guys so much for that, as well as a big thank you here to the race sponsors of D&D Race Graphics, spelled Grafix. Go ahead and get in contact with Ricky Wittenberg there, either on Facebook or on Trading Paints, to get yourself a fancy paint job done by him, as well as his real life business of Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Reach out to Ricky at 423-444-0454. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a house in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country, be sure to give Ricky a call so he can help you out, because, man, buying or selling a house is it's not an easy thing, especially doing it alone. And this housing market is just getting crazier and crazier. So do yourself a good favor and get yourself a good quality realtor. Well, on that note, we're going to close this one down here for tonight, but don't you worry, we got ARCA cars coming at you here on Friday night, which we cannot wait for. We've had a great season watching those guys go around on Friday nights, and it's just going to get better and better. So be on the lookout for that coming up here later this week. And on that note, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We finally settled the debate about Turn 2 at Pocono, at least for now. We thank you all for watching. Have a good night.
We gone.
See ya.
I don't think it was ever.